I think yoga killed my dancing skills. I think yoga's completely wiped me out. Sup, dudes? La Luna Lotus. Living La Luna Lotus. Lexi K, thank you for your subscription. And of course, Wolves Den, thank you for resubscribing. I've got a very dry mouth. I've been too much exercise today, too much running around with the dog and stuff. Now it sounds weird. Let me see, what do we got here? How does it sound, by the way? Yeah, Wolf Pup quietly joined the voice chat. I'm actually gonna chat for a little bit, and then I might get some Tech Bandit stuff in a little later. But I just want to have a little chat with the rest of Twitch for a bit. I learned from George Cuffs and Martin Short. Yeah, there you go. That's how the dancing goes. A lot of this stuff. So far, Anima Confusa, I still have a laptop. So far. Alright, sounds alright. Miss Lynch liked the sound. That's good. Great moves. Yeah, aren't they just? Well, technically I resubbed yesterday. Oh, did you? Was it yesterday? Did you? It only showed up a minute ago. That's weird. Exactly, wow. Someone who knows the movie Cuffs. Cuffs. Do I know the movie Cuffs? I may be letting you down there, Wolves Den. Running around with the dogs is fun. Yeah, it's true. What is he? Me and Anthony are in voice chat, just so you know. Thank you very much, Wolf Pup. I will pop in and check up. We'll check up on you in a bit. Well, that's exactly how George Cuffs dances. Yeah, there you go. How did I know? I'm glad I still have a laptop. Thank you. Yes, so far, touch wood, no terrible repercussions from that. But we'll see. If I do this. Okay, that's the little clicky part where it says that's where my sound's supposed to be. But of course I'm half deaf, so it's hard for me to tell. Alright, I gotta find out who this George Cuffs guy is. Okay. Oh, I see. I hadn't clicked to show my... I see Wolves Den. So it pops up when you click it. I didn't know that. Alright, so I've got lots of questions and things for you today. First up, what do I do with these? These are the Tech Bandits coins. So there's one side. There's the other. Kind of fun. Little Stargate motif on them and stuff, because I thought I should do a little nod to the Stargaters who've been so helpful. And also the Stargate, basically, that has basically paid for all the fun stuff that I've ever done, basically. I didn't have any money before Stargate. Anyway, so I got to figure out how to do these. And I was looking into Amazon shipping, and I'm curious to know, has anyone done any of that stuff, any of that Amazon fulfillment stuff? So we're basically, you would get the company that makes these to ship them to Amazon instead of to me, and then you could buy them on Amazon, and the hope would be it would just be easier to get things out, because I know myself and how incredibly good I am about mailing stuff out, as basically anyone who I've promised a photo to will know. I mean, Elsa's took like 10 years to show up. And then I've got Alan Malvitano. I haven't even sent his stuff yet, even though it's sitting on a nice little, it's all ready to go right there. But now I think I can maybe add other things to it, which should be kind of fun. Toss a coin to Tech Bandits. No, I love, like, this is the funny thing is, like, I know people want them because many people have asked about them. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way of getting them to people without it becoming everything that I do. Like, I still have like a bunch of, I actually sat down yesterday to go through the voicemail stuff, and it just sounds like crap. So I'm going to have to go and re-record that stuff. But not Canada Post. Yeah, no kidding. What is it with Canada Post? Like, it feels like it is like the slowest possible way of getting anything anywhere. Hey, what are we missing? Are we missing something? Yeah, we're missing Gecko Cam. Where's Gecko Cam? Let me see if I can find Gecko Cam for you. All right, let me see if that should give you. There you go. Hello, I'm still here. I'm just behind the Gecko Cam. I suppose I might want to adjust that. All right, let's see this. One day I'll get this all organized so it actually looks right. Oh, I see. I'm in special studio mode where I can change it and then make it live. Like a real professional, as opposed to just like going, I don't know, what does this do? So I'll go a little smaller on that. Maybe a little smaller on our little squirrel gate. Squirrel gate, that's what I should call it, squirrel gate. Now we transition, there you go. Okay, can the supplier interface with something like Shopify, Squarespace, Store, Envy, any of those? It's a good question. Let me find out who the supplier is. I took a photo. Is there a gecko? Do you see a gecko moving? It's hard to tell up there, isn't it? What if I put the gecko up? Oh, I can't. I have to do it there again, don't I? If I put the gecko up here, and I'll move me over. Nope, that's the game. Nope. There you go. What if I move me over there a little bit? Like that. Okay, how's that? A little better? Oh, now I feel like there's a dead spot there. What if I do... This is where you get to watch me move windows around. Okay, this could probably get a little bigger, so you can see what's going on. There we go. Do we see any geckos any going on there? Let's see if we can get this up. There we go. Okay. There you go. And then one last thing, because I'm just being really OCD about this. There you go. That just, for some reason, that has a better layout to it, in my mind. It's easy from what I've heard of. Amazon is probably the easiest. They just take a bit more of the profit. Again, I don't want to be, I'd rather not be paying Amazon everything. Let me take this music down a little bit. Much as I love the disco tunes, or the synthwave, or whatever they call it. I'm going to just turn it off. I have a hard enough time concentrating as it is anyways. All right, from what Captain Catherine's heard, apparently the Amazon fulfillment thing is very easy. I mean, I feel a bit bad by, supporting yet another massive multi-millionaire making more money. But, the reality is I want to be able to get stuff out to people in a timely manner. And they come in these... Here, I'll show you. Do I have this open? Is this open? There it is. Okay. So they come in these little plastic covers. But in the covers... I guess is like a little card that's put in by the people who make them in Canada, which is great. I love them. There's these sharkscoins.ca. Feel free to go give them some love if you want. They're I mean, they didn't do me any deals or anything, but they were very sorry, I shouldn't say that. They're very reasonably priced. But I paid for it properly. And there happened to be a Stargate nerd there who helped out with the design, and she did a fantastic job. So, Sharks, was it Sharks? Coins.ca. I think that's them. If it's wrong, let me know. Anyway, so they're the ones who they're like a geocaching company that sort of got into coin things because people wanted to leave coins, I guess, at their geocaching sites, which I should totally do. But I thought it'd be nice to change the card so that it said something Tech Bandit related. Maybe it's got like a little... Maybe I could, sign something. Wait a second, but if I'm signing it, then they each have to be... Oh, man. Yeah. So, is there an easy way to ship from the house is the question. How does that work? I'm sure you have. Interratus, I think they are, in fact, a Vancouver company. The question I have, okay, if you're going the Etsy route, I'd say just use Store Envy. I think they take a lot less of the dollars, and Etsy takes a lot. Oh. Etsy, the seller has to take care of all the shipping and stuff. Amazon, they do that for you. I mean, so basically what happens is you get these coins. These coins would then be sent to Amazon, and then you would order them directly from Amazon is the idea. I just figured that Amazon is available all around the world. Etsy is like... do they even do Etsy in Canada? I don't even... Is Etsy available in Canada? I know there's some... Canada sucks for a lot of this stuff. Like, they have their own Amazon. Like, their Amazon Canada is just not as good as Amazon.com. And if I had my way, I'd have like a house across the border, and I'd go and I'd send all this stuff to that. But Bezos needs another rocket ship. It's true. Polite Canuck, you're right. It would only be fair, that we get another rocket ship. He's got to catch up because Elon Musk is way ahead right now. How did those 48 satellites do, by the way, yesterday? Did we find out what happened there? Did they sort themselves out? Uh-oh. I'm being messaged. I'm being messaged by my little sister, Kate. Oh, I just got invited to... Wow. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, Kate's just invited me to her boyfriend's play, which she's had to say, look, he hates musicals and he likes this one. So, you know. All right, let me see what I'm looking up here. I forgot what I was looking up. What am I looking up? I've already forgot what I was talking about. Isn't that shameful? Okay, so I got distracted by the phone. I was talking about coins. I was talking about shipping from coins. What was I talking about? Did she solve another proof on accident? What? Did she? Starlink, Etsy Canada. Oh, yeah. How did you know that judiciously? Wait a second. How did you know that? Judiciously knows. It's like she's reading my phone. Or they're reading my phone. Etsy itself doesn't ship anything, either the seller or the drop shipper. So where you ship it is up to you. I see. Oh, you saw her interview. In her interview, she talks about Come From Away. Interesting. On Dial the Gate. Oh, she did a Dial the Gate? I should probably keep track of my sister more. When did she do on the Dial the Gate? I mean, it couldn't have been as good as mine, I imagine. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have heard about it. But, you know. Well, when Rod showed up from the other universe, she'd solved a proof with finger paints, didn't she? Well, there's that, you know. All right, what do we got? I think you can have a storefront that's just fulfilled by Amazon. Okay, so I got to look into that. Okay. Months before the baby, she talked about the boyfriend. Well, that's smart. It's good. It's good that she does that. Maybe you want to go to Newfoundland. Yeah, Newfoundland is fantastic. It's one of my favorite places. It's truly one of my favorite places on earth is Newfoundland. Okay, so going back to the coins thing. So I guess, I mean, if I want to actually personalize stuff, like send a little, like actually sign the card that comes with it or something, then I'd have to do that myself and then send it out. Or I guess I could sign a bunch of them and then ship them out again. But the cost just keeps going up every time I'm sending these coins out. I should find out what it costs to send a coin. Wolf's Den's blaming the car accident for the reason why they can't remember things. And I wish I had that as an excuse, but I don't. Although I was rendered unconscious twice when I was in high school. That was a fun story. Okay, she talked about with too many McKays, indeed. So we had this stupid thing we used to do when we were in high school where we had these metal chairs and very flat floors, and the floors were kind of pretty slidey. And so we had rows of tables, and we used to kick the chair as hard as we could down the aisle, and it would go flying down the aisle because it was very, very slippery. Well, one day, my good friend Wheeler, as I called him, decided to kick a chair very hard down the aisle as I bent down to pick up a pencil, and it hit me in the side of the temple and rendered me unconscious. And I remember coming to and they had lifted me sort of onto my feet, and as I was coming to, they went, it's Hewlett, he's faking again, and they let go, but I wasn't faking, so I then fell to the ground and hit my head again I can't remember if it was on the side of a desk or the table or whatever, I can't remember, and I was out again, so I had 2 concussions in the span of about, 2 minutes, and I went home, and at one point, I just remember getting very, very angry about something, and I can't remember what it was, and I don't think I even knew at the time, but I got really, really angry about something, and then I was in hospital, and apparently I'd had something had happened in my head, and I started acting weirder than normal, and luckily there was someone there to notice, and they took me to hospital, and I just remember curling up on a stretcher and being taken into the ward. And this guy, oh my God, it was awful. They had to wake me up every hour during the night. They'd come in and they'd shine lights in my eyes to make sure I wasn't, dead or something. I don't know what they were doing, but anyways. Too thick for a regular envelope. They will run through a machine, so it might not fit and will tear the envelope, but for sure you could do very small packages. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. Hello, 3D monkey. Oh, is it NL or Monkey Null? Well, hello, first-time chatter from the Netherlands. From the Netherlands! How great is this? This is what I love about the internet. How often do you get to just say hi to people from completely different countries at God knows when in the morning? Should be fine for a padded envelope. Those aren't too expensive to ship. Yeah, but each one I have to figure out how to ship it, though, right? Isn't that right? I mean, every single coin that I ship out, I'd have to ship out separately, and I'd have to send them out. I have to figure out the postage for each one of them. Okay, I have sent products to Hawaii, Australia, Canada, France, other places in Europe, from Pennsylvania for customers from my Etsy store. It wasn't too that bad, and for a low overhead, Etsy can give you labels for the post. Granted, CA post may be a little different. Yeah, you know what's so funny, little Geek 88. Thank you very much for that, by the way. The thing that's funny about that is Canada seems really far behind on a lot of this stuff. But I'd be curious if anyone in Canada knows anything about that. So Wolf Pup's very off topic. Interesting, just like me. Just a question. How do you feel about all these people telling you to screenshot NFTs, and what can people do to stop them from screenshotting them? I think they don't understand NFTs. I mean, it's like, you can own the Mona Lisa or you can own the Mona Lisa on a postcard, and they're different things, right? If you have proof that you own the Mona Lisa, then you have the bragging rights and the ownership of that Mona Lisa. Whereas if you have a postcard, you just have a copy of it. So I think that's the difference there with the NFT stuff. Dare I change the title of the? I should change the title of the thread, shouldn't I? Because I think I put NFTs in it, so I have lots of people in here. Please don't start pitching your NFTs. I'm not that you have, by the way. We should make a Cal NFT, and everyone could own a little bit of the hammer that Cal uses to mod this channel. David, how about using PayPal for those of us who will just buy it through here? Start by taking one in a padded envelope to the post. See how much it'll cost to mail to Connecticut, for example. Oh, what a coincidence, Pac-Mom. Then add to the cost of the coin. I mean, I could just say, like, the coin costs X amount. Shipping is whatever. That's your problem. That always just feels a bit... I never like doing that myself, because I'm always like, I don't know what it's going to cost. Like, what if it costs a fortune and it's just a freaking coin? Pretty cool coin, though. And you get two of them and they rattle together like this, and it's really kind of fun to have. It's the ASMR stream right there. And I noticed, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but it actually says on the side, if you actually see it or not, it's very hard to make out, but it actually says lifelong learning on the side of it, which I kind of think is cool. And again, the idea, I don't want to gouge. I don't want this to like cost a fortune for people. Like I don't want like the postal service and the and Amazon and PayPal and all these people to make all this money, and then basically Tech Bandits gets nothing and you guys get a giant bill. That sucks. I think I just got a chat from Alan, who I haven't spoken to for ages, who I'd love to catch up with. So I don't know if you guys mind, but maybe we could do a little Alan. Yeah, I'll call you now. I'll call you now. Here we go. All right. Alan is our resident magician of memory, our sorcerer of storage. Working, I believe, still at Intel. We'll find out. I'm going to call him right now. And let's see if you guys... You have to tell me if you hear him or not. Make sure that you've got this. Alan's here. I'm going to call Alan right now. We'll see if we've got him here. It's ringing.
I got it.
Hey! You got it!
I had to bust out the fancy PC per podcasting headset for you.
Oh, really? Wait, are you using... with the microphone attached?
Yeah. It's a boom mic.
Oh, you've gone with the full thing. Wait a second. Let me see. Can I video? Can I see you?
I don't know. If
I turn camera on, I'm going to turn camera on. I don't want to...
my camera.
That's asking me if I want blurry backgrounds. Yeah, because you've got the best like set design right here.
I don't need no blurry background.
Exactly. Well, I don't want to blur this. Let me see if I can bring you up so everyone else can see what's going on. Hang on a second. Hold your horses. I'm almost there. Where do we go? Discord goodness. How about that?
I wore a special shirt just for you.
But how did you know I was going to call?
But
let me guess. My sister said something like that on her Dial the Gate interview, I'm guessing. All right, let me see. Where's Discord goodness? Why can't I see that now? Oh, I see, because it's way back there. I got to drag it up forward here.
David's crossing the streams.
I'm dragging.
Where do we even need to go to look at what you're doing, or do I just got to keep the Twitch going?
To see what I'm doing? You don't see. Oh, you know what? You won't see me. That's right, because I'm using the camera for. Because I'm using the camera for the stream. Okay. That's why.
I'm not gonna make you. I'm not gonna make you cross more streams.
You're missing out. Missing out big time. It's true.
Over there.
Okay, here's a second. If I go back.
I need to come up there so I can see the bird's eye, the fly on the wall of you actually crossing the streams.
It's true. I do need another. I could turn that. Wait a second. I could turn this camera around. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can do that. I'm just trying to find a place where I can put you on my screen that's not gonna. Oh, I know. It's that trick that someone taught me.
You were gonna point a camera at a screen.
Yeah, you watch. It's like me. It's like my sister used to send me. My sister used to find websites, and then she would say, "I'll fax them to you," and she would fax me websites.
like a printed out,
Yeah.
print out the website.
Oh yeah, I get these
stick it
like
in the
20 page. I get these like 20-page thing. Okay, I don't think I need that anymore, do I? Can I get rid of that? Game capture? No, not that one.
package.
Logitech. Is that the one? No, I want that because I'm gonna turn it. I'm gonna turn it on, and you can see what's going on at the same time. I'm gonna say, all right, this will be very exciting for people. You wait. When I stop talking to myself, everyone's gonna be really excited. So how are you? What's up? What are you doing? What's
Good.
the?
I just, just figured we'd catch up.
Yeah, and as always, I'm like, let's catch up like in front of like 50 people.
Front of some people.
It'll be fun. You'll love it.
Fine.
Yeah. All right, let me see if I do this.
Some of them were wishing me happy birthday. It was fun.
What? What was your birthday?
It's today.
Your birthday's literally today?
Yeah, it's today.
That's I knew that. That's why I called you. Happy birthday to you. Seriously? I totally fluked into your birthday today.
Scroll up one page on your Discord chat, right there.
No. Well,
Because you
Discord.
asked me what my birthday was a while back.
Yeah, but I never listen.
You were like, "Hey, what's your address and your birthday?" And just
Oh no, I've got it all. I've got it all in an envelope right here.
I know.
It's just I just haven't said. This is what I.
It's just.
It's literally. I'll show you. There you go. There you go. There's your package right there. Right there. I have a sticker for it.
Oh
There you
man.
go. See? There you go.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's got my name on it. Everything.
Happy birthday.
fancy.
So I just wanted to make sure that I got in touch with you today on your birthday. It being a day that I've really been looking forward to for ages now. I can't believe I fluked into your birthday. That's so great.
You're a good actor. You're not that good of an actor.
Yeah, I'm not that good at that. Yeah, that's true. I'm not good at the birthdays. What is the T-shirt? I got to see the T-shirt now.
That's for you because of your hard drive troubles.
Nice. Death Wish Raid.
Death Wish Raid.
Oh man, like I think I must have. It's my magnetic personality. It's killing hard drives. I just want to get rid of spinning disks of Rust and go to memory things like yours.
Yeah. What was all that about? Like you had a drive go bad, but I didn't even know you had bought more recent drives.
Well, I had there was a 2 terabyte drive in my Drobo went bad. And it went bad. And so I was like, oh great, this is a perfect opportunity. I'll yank that drive. I'll pop in an 8 gigabyte instead. And then I thought, if something goes wrong now, I don't have a drive to back it up. I'll get another drive. So I put the second drive in, and then I thought, well, if I'm buying 2, why not buy 3? And I got 3 8 gigabyte drives. And then the third one I was just messing around with, and it just died. Just completely died. I backed up a bunch of stuff.
You were just going through that it's like the first steps of, and then you end up with a whole like server rack full of drives.
That's basically. I'm scared I'm going to end up with your like petaverse or whatever it is of like how many petabytes of stuff do you have now or whatever it is?
3.5.
3.5. So what? I can't even like how many terabytes is that roughly? Like what's the? How many?
Did multiply by 1,000.
It's 1,000 terabytes. Oh my god! See, that's insane. And are
3.5 times 1,000.
And are you doing the chia? You're doing the chia mining or whatever it's a chia farming.
Yeah, most of it is chia.
I have 2 plots, and in 209 years, I may in fact get some chia. Just so you know, what does it say? I should look and see what the specifics are. It says
You have two plots on what? Where are they? Are they on your drawer?
Oh no, it's gone up again. In 110 years, I may win. I don't even know what that means, but
You're running. Okay, listen, buddy, you got to join a pool.
pools. I'm not a big fan of clubs. I'm on my own out here.
Okay.
No, I should totally join a pool. I don't know anything about it.
You'll get fractions of a chia every once in a while. Then
Right. So it took so freaking long. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, chia is basically a more environmentally conscious approach to crypto, which uses hard drive space instead of proof of computing power. So you don't have to have giant GPUs and all that kind of stuff. But you do have to have
computing.
Yeah, which is not. I mean, I don't know how much better that is really, but I guess
it's a lot less power.
What does it take to power a hard drive now?
Hard drive's like 5 watts.
Right, so that's not too bad. And then how many? So you could have how many of those do you have in how many separate drives are you dealing with?
It is about 300 or so.
That's what, you have like a small power station?
Well, it does add up. I will say I have yet to kick on my furnace this winter.
Right, because that's the hard drives are covering that for you.
It's just yeah, it's heating up the house. Like I just crack a window still, like if it gets a little warm.
So you need like a system of like moving that heat around the house better.
In
You need to like
progress.
tie it into the furnace.
I have all the server rack stuff is in the basement right next to the furnace, and so I just keep the door to where you change the filter. I keep that cracked open a little, and it just sucks the heat off of the server and just sort of.
I have a
circulates it around the
great
house.
fan system. Like it's an inline fan. You could
Yeah.
probably just like hook that up, and that sucker would just blow the hot air all around the house. You gotta stop hogging the heat, man. It's like so, Your
It's
wife is probably upstairs with like 15 sweaters on.
sweaters.
Is it hot there? I don't want to hear.
No, it's like it's in the 40s, but like we're warm in the house here because hard drives are heating the house.
How many levels is your house?
3 total.
3. So what about the top floor though? That's not getting. Yeah, surely that's not getting it, is it?
I just have the thermostat having the fan circulating.
So the fan. So the fan is actually okay. That makes sense. Okay, I thought it was like,
Yeah,
why?
yeah.
You've opened the door to your furnace. You're like, hey, honey, are you warm enough? It's like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. Not at all.
No, it's fine. Yeah, if anything, like I had to start cracking windows because like my air conditioning was still running, like it was 40 degrees outside, and I heard the compressor kick on, and
You're
I
like,
said, "Oh no,
I'm
is a
single-handedly
problem.
destroying the planet with my environmental
basically,
controls.
yeah." So it's like, okay, well, I'm not. We have a gas furnace, so at least I'm not polluting that way anymore.
Right.
I'm just using electricity.
Right.
Although I'm in Kentucky, so all the electricity is probably coming from coal anyway.
But like
so
coal.
it's-
Well, apparently in England, they had so many problems with their environmentally friendly power supplies that they had to kick back on a couple of coal plants because they were
Well,
like,
to handle peaks. That's the catch with the renewable stuff is that, when it's not there all the time and the sun goes down and the wind dies off, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, we need more power. And then
I
you
love
gotta
the
fire up
systems that people
generator.
come up for that too. Like they're like, it fills water into a bucket and all day, and then at night it slowly lowers back down, thus generating
Those
power.
Those are pretty amazing.
I know,
actually.
it's amazing. It's
because they're like, I don't know how they do it as efficiently as they do. Like the
They're like-
efficiency numbers for those things are insane.
but they're like grandfather clocks, right? That was the whole point of like it was all those
Basically,
systems, right? Yeah,
But with like a lake.
yeah,
instead,
yeah.
Right.
That's what you need, a lake.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lake. Well, I mean, it's potential energy, right? And you just storing. It's a battery, just not a chemical one. It's just a water one.
But that's it. I mean, I think that's like we're so enamored with the idea of everything's got to be, electric and DC and all that kind of crap. And I think we sort of forget that there's all sorts of mechanical forces that you could use to store energy as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, even the nuclear powered sub had to have a battery.
Right. And flywheels, I'll bet. No? Damn it.
Not like a flywheel.
But there's not like I would have thought they would need. Don't they need it to keep things? A lot of those.
There were things that were effectively flywheels, but
Right.
not an actual flywheel.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I know a lot of the electric cars and stuff have like that kind of stuff built in to keep them going on hills and stuff.
It's still like potential energy storage, right?
Right.
Like if you had to shut off the reactor right away for some reason, it's still hot.
Right.
So you can still go a little while just off of actually pulling the heat out of the reactor plant,
Right.
and sort of, keep up until you can like start up the diesel. And
Right.
things like that.
Oh God,
Right.
diesel. Oof.
Yeah, we got a diesel too.
Was it biodiesel or is it like real diesel?
Just diesel.
We used to have we had biodiesel in. I had a nice little VW before I discovered that they were lying to everyone about them and cheating on all their tests. We had a biodiesel converted VW, and I loved it, like a VW
Well, then
wagon.
yours was less cheaty if it was converted.
Oh no, it's we were like running on French fries. It was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I loved it, but then it's like I don't know what happened. There was like a stranglehold on biofuels, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. There was no. It was like difficult, except in like weird parts of like around Seattle and stuff, because we were in Washington State. There were lots of biofuel places for a while, and then they just suddenly just sort of dried up. I don't like. I guess.
It became too many people started doing it compared to what the supply was.
And they were worried about like eating into food supplies in other countries, and also I'm sure oil and gas had a few things to say about. Yeah, it's terribly dangerous. That stuff could just
Yeah,
blow up.
those guys.
Yeah, there's that
They're
whole
always-
thing.
Yeah, there's always some political or economical or greedy or some other factor, kicking in all those.
Well, that's the thing I discovered later in life was all of that propaganda against nuclear energy was all oil and gas companies, which I thought was fascinating
Yeah,
because they realized that
yeah,
if this works, they're out of business, right? I mean,
yeah. I'm sure those guys are lobbying and they're tricking the environmental people into saying, no,
mm,
we don't want any more new nuclear plants. And
yeah.
yeah,
There's,
I don't know.
yeah. I mean it's yeah. As always, it's very hard to find. It's very hard to find out what exactly is the motives behind a lot of this stuff. But I do feel
It does get a bad rap because, like, when there is a problem, it's a big problem.
right.
So, it's one of those things you have to get right or else.
And yet,
Um,
every movie I ever see has a car exploding in it. You know what I mean? Like it's like you know what I mean? Like in the psyche, the idea is like you have a car crash and the car's going to blow up, which it generally doesn't. But and
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, nuclear
But
power
heaven
plants.
forbid, a Tesla get into an accident and catch on fire. Oh my goodness!
Oh
It's
my
like
god!
every
Or if it runs somebody over, it's like, oh my god, these things are dangerous. It's like, yeah, but there's been like humans have run over
how many
thousands of people in that same time.
how many regular cars have run people over today? Oh, okay.
Because you have a Tesla. You still have a Tesla?
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
It's still in pieces. One of them's still in pieces that you're working on all the time. No.
No, 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 no. The GTI's in pieces.
Oh, I see. Okay, right, right.
That's the spare car, which I'm working on.
Do you have?
It's yeah. It's like I have the This was so funny. I was we were trying to pull some pine tree root out of the front yard like a couple of years ago or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, we just could not. It was, God knows, it had been there for so long. And
You got to get the root robot.
well, I was just like, well, I mean, I could just roll the Tesla up in the yard and just like tie it to it and just roll it back and just. And so while I was doing that, I was like, the GTI was sitting out there, and I was like, well, I haven't started that car in a while. Let me just start it and let it, idle and warm up and stuff, because it's a spare car, and we're using the Teslas, of course, not the
Right.
not the gas powered car anymore. So it's sitting there idling and whatever and just warming up, and then I'm roll the Tesla up and I put the little tow hook thing into the front. There's a little thread in like tow hook thing that
Oh,
they
is
have
there?
on them.
I didn't know. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and like I tie a rope around it and pull the pine or the pine tree root out of the yard, and then like park the car back in the yard again, and then like we start hearing like this weird, and Teslas are super quiet, right? You don't hear anything, which was
Yeah.
really creepy pulling the root out of the ground because all you heard was crunchy root sounds,
Oh, that's
right?
wild.
Like just tearing.
And it had no problems. It has enough torque and such to do that.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, yeah,
And no
it's like,
problem.
yeah. It didn't even like leave any marks in the yard or anything. It just, super super easy. But like, so we're done with that and I put everything up, and then like we start hearing just this horrific sound from the GTI,
Right.
like just like something's dying under the hood of that car, right?
Mm.
And we kind of like look over it, and right as we look over at it, the water pump explodes in the GTI. Like, and
Nice.
just everything was fully warmed up, so it was just like a steam eruption from under the hood
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
GTI.
right.
Just like everything, it spilled
Like
all
a
of its
Dukes
guts.
of Hazzard episode. Yeah.
Basically, yeah,
Yeah.
it was like Dukes of Hazzard.
And
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm just like, what? Like this is, I didn't even drive it. Like I have these other two cars that are just super reliable and basically scaled up electric power drills.
Right.
Meanwhile, the other one, with the 3,000 moving parts under the hood, one of them decided to erupt
While you
from
were
me,
warming it up. Yeah. Nice.
just from me warming it up because I
isn't-
felt bad because it was sitting there, right?
Isn't there a problem with like rodents chewing away at the rubber cables and stuff? Isn't that like a?
That's if you live in a place where there's, rodents. Like that happens even to Teslas.
I was gonna say, where doesn't that? Oh, I guess they've got some plastic too. They've got some rubber tubes, don't they?
They get up like into the air filter housing and stuff like that. They climb up in there and yeah, because so
Every so often they
Tesla-
wander past the Stargate, the squirrel cam. You'll see a giant, what they call them, Scandinavian something or not. Rats will wander by.
if you're in a place where like outside rodent type things is more of an issue, it's actually worse to have an electric car because they're trying to keep the battery a little warm,
Ah,
right? Whereas you shut off your gas car and then it just cools down to nothing,
Ah.
right? So, that's not warm.
the rodents are
electric
going in for
car-
warmth.
Yeah, the electric car that's charging is going to be a little warmer than the outside. It's going to attract potentially
The cozy squirrels.
something. Yeah, yeah.
I was amazed. We did a little short film here, and as part of my penance for saying yes, I helped clean up, and we brought home 4 bags of like full giant stinking bags of garbage and about 3 things of recycling. And
Your house?
no, into the garage. So just because there's nowhere we couldn't leave them at the location.
Oh, okay.
So we brought them back, and it wasn't garbage day yet. So I put them in the garage, and I thought that'll do it. Of course, I'm not sure why I thought that would do it. In that there's like a large portion of my garage missing because the neighbors had a spat, an argument, and they never finished the garage. So it's literally like one of the walls of my garage is in fact the fence, the next door neighbor's fence.
I remember you showed me a picture.
I think I should have probably showed you a picture. That's true. Yeah. So I came in, and they'd have been torn to shreds. So I was like, okay, you know what? Best of a bad situation. I went through all of the garbage and pulled out all of the food stuff and put it in the composter, and actually washed all of the little tin dishes that all the food came in and all the plastic things. I got half a bag of garbage out of that. That's it. So 4 bags of garbage was actually half a bag of garbage. The rest of it was all recyclable stuff. And I put it out, and I came out, and it had been torn to shreds again. And I was like, what the, like, it was the squirrels. It wasn't, I thought it was like raccoons or rats. No, it was these freaking ugly squirrels. We have these squirrels here now that are like something out of Mad Max. They're like all black. They've got, except for these like big, like weird, like scaly bits that they've got on with like scars and stuff. They're like truly like the Mad Max of squirrels we have in Toronto right now. And I wasn't going to mess with them. I'm like, okay, you guys finish up. When you're done, I'll come out and put it all back in a garbage bag again for you. So, yeah.
Here's I know you can't play a video. You'll cross more streams if you play a video.
That could be it for me. My brain just may explode.
Oh, and I just tried to post a YouTube video link in the chat, and of course it yelled at me. So.
Oh, there you go. So, no, you know what? Because that means I've got to. Do I have to allow or something? Is that the? That's a. Cal will get it before I do. You watch.
Just ask for permission to post.
There you go.
Link.
Is it permission? Exclamation? Permission?
What is? Does Cal just like 24/7 is awake?
She's
like,
constantly awake.
A robot. That like.
Nope, she's not a robot. Robots are nicer. All right. What is it? What do you under? Are you Malventana? What are you?
I think Cal got it.
Damn it! See, I told you.
Cal beat you to it, and you didn't even get it right.
I got it wrong, anyways. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not exclamation mark, is it? No, it is exclamation mark.
It's permit, not permission.
Oh, permission.
Apparently.
See, I was much more formal. Yeah, Cal's like Cal's amazing. I think she truly doesn't run on sleep. I think sleep is not important for her. You know, she got like taken out the other day in a cycling accident. She's probably typing with her feet right now because she got hit by a car. It opened up.
I used to bike like everywhere, but it was a long time ago.
So my father and I used to bike all the time, and we stopped because he kept on getting taken out by people opening car doors. And I think it's better now because Toronto's gone all crazy on like bike lanes, like to the point where they took like our main street, this Danforth, which is sort of near us, that runs sort of across Toronto, and way out. It has like 2 lanes, but now it's like 2 smaller lanes because there's just all of these sections of road that they've made into like, because the restaurants couldn't have people inside, so they put the restaurants outside, and they added a bicycle lane, and delivery people going nuts because they just can't. There's nowhere they can't drive anymore. So I was like, well, get bicycles. You can deliver on bicycles. It's perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do it in other countries.
Yeah. Well, they do it here. I mean, like most of the stuff I see being delivered, like food-wise, is all done on bicycles, usually going the wrong way down a one-way street on an electric vehicle at dangerous breakneck speeds. But, I don't mind as long as I get my pizza on time. Okay, so let's talk birthdays. So 21, I'm assuming.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
21st birthday. So you got to be kind of excited.
That would mean I was watching Stargate when I was what?
Before you were even born. But congratulations, now you're allowed to drink. You're allowed to drink there in that weird America where you can be recruited before you can be allowed to drink or something.
That reminds me, my dad passed like years actually like 6 or 8 or something years ago, and like he was one of those that had like a girlfriend every day of the week.
Really?
Because he was in like his 4th or 5th midlife crisis, and he had a Corvette and like all the other things.
Oh,
right?
Corvette.
And there's okay. And there was one point where like he like tried to, hey, Alan, if you meet this girl, like you got to say that this is how old you are,
Oh my
because like
God.
he had like figured out, he told her that his age was something, and then he had me when he was whatever, and then like
Oh
he
my
told,
God.
and I'm doing the mental math, and like it turned out that like he got his numbers all crisscrossed and everything, and it was like something where it wouldn't have been physically possible for me to have been born
Yeah, way to
at
go,
that
Tad. Way to go on the
time,
math.
or
That's
yeah, yeah, it was
Hewlett
one of those
math, as they
things.
call it in my family. Hewlett math. Yeah, my mom had dated numerous people over the years, all of whom they would slowly, not even slowly, rapidly got down to my age. So there was
Yeah,
actually at one point she was dating someone who was my age, and I was like, oh God, Mom, like it's just
yeah,
it's I
yeah.
was like, what do you
Like,
do?
who,
I said, I wash
who
the
was that?
dishes. I'm like, oh God, that's great. That is great. Yeah.
Oh man.
So
All right, so birthdays. Yeah, I don't know what the heck am I now? I don't know.
come
Old,
on.
old enough to have grown up on watched all the Stargate when you were in it, I guess.
But you were watching Stargate
You know.
not as a kid, though.
No, 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 not as a kid.
Yeah, there was a
I
like a
was I was in the so so there were a few movies that my dad had taken to me to growing up, and
yeah.
like Stargate happened to have been one of them. The original like
Yeah, I
Stargate
remember
movie.
seeing that. What was that? We decided the other day it was like 86 or 87, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like yeah, and and I was pretty little then, like 10 something. Um, but then yeah, I was in the Navy trying to catch Stargate episodes between going out to sea, basically.
But they didn't have Stargate on the submarines.
Well, no, of course not.
They didn't have a good VHS player going or nothing.
Okay, okay. So, actually, you can appreciate this since you're in the film industry. The Navy has this program where they were getting like these 8 millimeter cassettes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I forget the exact format of them,
They're
but they were
better
like on the
quality. They're like the airline quality. They do the airlines
yeah,
use them as
they're
well.
basically
Yeah,
the airline thing.
yeah,
And this Navy submarines would basically be in the same program, and we
yeah,
would get like pre-release in some cases
yeah,
movie. We'd get like a loadout before we went underway,
yeah,
and there would be a little library, and you can go and check out. The submariners would always just call it like burning a flick, which was when you're watching a movie,
right.
and they would go and check out a flick from there was one of the watchstanders would have like the lock to the key to the locker that had all the movies in it, and you'd be like look in the little index and go, hey, I want to watch that.
Oh,
And
that's too funny. So you had like a library of 8 millimeter movies.
yeah, yeah, a couple hundred of them or so.
And would they come up? Would it say not for resale on them every so often? Is that
They would have the yeah, like some warning at the beginning, not for public or whatever.
piracy
Same kind of thing you
is a
would see on
crime?
yeah, yeah. Like it's actually the same exact warning you would see on like the back when they did that same thing on the airplanes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
There would be
Got it.
those warnings at the beginning, right? And
I'm
then
not sure what someone's going to do, like film it while they're on the flight. I mean, I'm not sure
right.
how that works exactly, but okay. Yeah.
And the interesting piece of that was that like I was in the submarine force at the time where all of this, like Napster and like digital things
Oh,
changing and
right.
people getting like better laptops and like video, a DivX video format
Oh,
or video
yeah.
compression
Yeah. Yeah.
format started to make it practical for somebody to just have their own movie,
With them on the
like on a thing,
right.
right? Yeah, on
What do you
like
call
their
them?
own
Tours?
person,
What do you
right?
call them if you were out? Do they call tours? Are they
It's a
missions? What's the what are they?
patrol, like the time you were out for like 3 months or whatever
Okay.
was a
All right.
patrol
And the
for the
patrols were
boat shipment
generally
and
three
stuff.
months.
Yeah, yeah, 3 months at a
Jeez.
time usually.
Wow.
Um,
That's got to be
and
easy on relationships.
well, yeah, most of the time we didn't even pull in at all. It was just three
Right.
months. You're just gone, and not even, you know, only come up to the surface a few times, and not really in a port, and just kind of like poke holes in the ocean for 3 months and then come back.
Wow.
And you'd get these things called family grams, which was like they would your family they'd give you like a stack of like 8 pieces of paper that had 40 little blanks drawn on it like Excel style, and you'd give them out to your family before you left, and then they could write 40 words on the sheet and send it in to the sub base,
And
and
they
then
would send them.
they would compile them and put them like append them all onto each other and make a big message like a standard naval message and transmit the message out to the sub, and the next time the sub received messages like came shallow enough, they'd get them, and then the radio people would actually like literally print out all the message with all the they call them family grams,
Lots of
and
privacy
then
there, I
and
imagine.
well, yeah, because all the radio men would see all your messages,
Yeah.
and so you'd have you'd have wives trying to be sort of creative with their wording
Right.
about the sexual innuendo they were going for
Right.
without actually saying it, right? And you weren't supposed to tell the person on the sub like if somebody died,
Oh.
right? Like you don't want to give them bad news, so the squadron, like the base, would try to like screen those things out, but you'd always have like this creative,
Your
you know,
father's doing very well
yeah,
in
exactly.
heaven. Yeah.
Like this, we don't have a cat named, you know,
Charlie anymore. There's no.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it was like
Charlie's under the porch
yeah,
again.
right,
Yeah. Right. Or got it.
Charlie is actually dad, so it's,
Right.
oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no.
There'd be like, or you'd have like the people trying to get really creative with the blanks and like fit as like they want more than 40 words. So
Right.
then turns into like the we had a baby eats a boy is like one like one word.
It seems like so archaic. Like you've got this like super powered nuclear submarine, and you're getting messages like
Yeah,
from like
and
a
it was so interesting because like at one point we had to sort of mesh like the outside the box thinking like the other technology that just people would have with like the archaic stuff that were, I don't want to say archaic because it was pretty advanced, but like the 80s
with the
technology.
secure, proven military grade stuff.
Right. Like we had one of the torpedo men had like a heart murmur at one point. And we're out in the middle of the ocean, right? And it wasn't enough of an issue for us to pull in, but it was like, well, the corpsman is just not really trained on interpreting an ECG, right? But he had the machine to do it, so like he took a trace of this guy's heart rhythm, and like we had scanned the picture of it, but then like, well, we can't transmit a picture.
Huh.
All we can do is send standard naval messages, which only use text.
So
Like,
what
how
you're
are
trying
we
to
gonna-
you're trying to encrypt them as text?
Well, so the funny thing is,
It's
there's actually
SMS.
a
I mean,
thing.
text.
There's a thing designed to encrypt binary files, including images, as text. It's Usenet, news groups
Huh.
on the internet, right?
Huh.
But like nobody was really thinking about that in terms of you're on a submarine because you're not using the internet anyway.
Right.
But one of the guys on the sub happened to have a program on his laptop that was able to convert a binary file into like a newsgroup program.
To a bunch of
happened to still be on his
text.
laptop.
They just
And
send
he
that
converted
text.
the image into text, and we transmitted it as a naval message. We actually like it was probably the first like binary file transmitted via naval message like that.
But that just seems like so backwards though. Like is it surely? I guess I was gonna say surely that's changing, but I'm sure it hasn't. I suppose they probably still.
Well, no, it eventually like as years passed, you'd get to the point where you could actually get proper emails with attachments that would come over. Like they put a little miniature like tracking dish, like satellite dish style thing, like up into one of the masts that we can stick up out of the water, and it would like lock onto a satellite, and we could get like a bunch of like
Right.
a batch of actual emails.
Now you just
Right.
have to sign up for Elon Musk's Starlink.
And now it probably they're probably like there's probably somebody figuring out how to make Starlink work on naval submarines if it hasn't
Sure,
happened
right?
already.
If they don't already have service there, yeah. What do you
Yeah,
actually? You're an interesting person to ask about this. What did you make of Russia doing the anti-satellite test, quote unquote?
I think it's horrible.
Yeah.
So one of my tours in the Navy was Naval Cyber Defense Command in Norfolk, and just like it was like there was a basically like a 24/7 like watch. There was a command center style thing where we would make sure that no other country like was able to hack into like the Navy's computer networks.
Right.
So there's a bunch of people. They're monitoring different parts of the computer network, and if anything happens, like there needs to be a guy that like can call the brass and say, hey, we need to shut off this ship internet because it's like been compromised or something, right?
Right.
And so like I was kind of like the chief of that was like my job, and just like to the back right of me was like an Air Force position where they had all of the tracking of all like the space debris.
Right.
That was part of their thing. Like they were monitoring, all of that stuff because it applied to like communications for the internet, right? They had to, if certain satellites went down, that would impact the military's ability to have internet communication because sometimes it hops through a satellite.
Are they higher orbit, or for some reason I feel like the military ones tend to be higher up?
Well, they're all over the place. It just depends on which link you're doing. But yes, they tend to be higher. As evidenced by the ping takes like a long time. It's usually like a half a second to get just out and back.
Right.
Yeah, but like I can imagine that just being a nightmare.
1,500 trackable pieces apparently, and that's just the trackable pieces. Like so, but we have our own satellite. We've done a test of this ourselves, haven't we? At some point, maybe not as a political move, but maybe it was a political move. Who knows? But
I would imagine whenever we did it, we probably didn't do it as messy.
Yeah, there also wasn't as many up there, I don't think, at the time.
Right, but just to it's the equivalent of like TPing all of the houses in your neighborhood. What they did.
Well, it's not even toilet, but it's like punching holes in all the houses in your neighborhood. I mean, it's kind of terrifying because I sort of feel like if you're going to do that, isn't that like I was like, so their own cosmonauts were in trouble. They had to suit up and get ready in the International Space Station because they had 2 Russian guys there, I think, or 1 Russian guy there. So they're cowering for, please put on your suits and go to the most secure part of the station. Boy, that's got to be fun to do every few hours.
And then the question is, was the most secure part of the station the Russian module? I think not.
Probably not. Actually, that's so true. Well,
because that's an actual problem. Like they're finding cracks.
And they have hatches. They have special. I think they have actual. I likened it to R2 and C-3PO hopping in the escape pod. I thought there was don't they have like special like escape or sections?
Well, I would imagine the space station probably does a similar thing to like what we did on the submarine. Whenever you needed to be more secure, you would isolate anything that you can separate, like any compartments you can isolate from each other. You would shut hatches. So I would imagine the space station they probably do the same thing, or at least.
So if one gets hit, you don't lose air in all of them.
Well, right. Either that, or at a minimum, be prepared to be able to shut the hatches. Because if you look, like when they do videos of the space station, you'll notice sometimes there's actually like hoses and lines like running through hatches.
Yeah.
And
it looks like the worst air conditioning unit ever.
Sure.
It looks like a film set.
But I would imagine they have procedures in place to okay, you got to undo all those things and make it so the hatch is clear and ready to shut.
Right.
It's just a matter of like preparation. On the submarines, they would have the hatches. You wouldn't necessarily like what's called dog. You wouldn't actually like seal the hatch. There's like a little hand crank turn thing, and like the whole ring of the hatch like rotates and like sort of locks
it closed.
Yeah. But the hatches would all
be clear and ready to go.
Have like a simple latch mechanism where it's just kind of like it's barely cracked open, but at least it's close enough to be enclosed to where all you have to do is walk up to it and then turn the crank.
Right.
And then it's sealed and nothing will go through. Right. The only time we'd put them on the latch that was open is if we needed to be super quiet to the point where we don't even want the sound of the latch clicking, like for anybody to hear it through the ocean.
Right.
Yeah. Which was a thing. Like that was the reason that most of it. All the Submariner guys, like, they bring, like, tennis shoes with them when they go out to sea.
Please wear soft shoes so that the enemy doesn't hear you coming. Yeah.
Because the Navy stuff is all, like, boots. It's all military. But, like, there's no, like, standard issue sneaker.
Is there not?
Submarine. So it was basically just bring your own. The closest they have is what's called topsiders, which are just like those.
I remember the topsiders. In the 80s, they were very, very popular.
Yeah, well, now they're popular. I forget what the brand name is of them, but like, there's people that actually.
God, who were they? The topsiders. They were.
What the heck is the name of those things?
Yeah, they were the penny loafers. No, they were the penny loafers. They were the topsiders. I want to say Scurvy topsider. No, Skippy or something topsiders. God, I remember them. I remember them because you had to get the special ones. I got given. My parents bought me a rip-off version. I was very disappointed. Very disappointed.
Well, but submarine doesn't have like enough topsiders for everybody, and also you wouldn't want to wear them like all the time. You need something more comfortable. Those things will.
Well, and you're probably. I imagine you also could be. You want something to protect your toes. I imagine too, right? Isn't there like a fair amount of stuff?
Underway, no, you wouldn't need like. Only if they're doing maintenance on stuff, like if the submarine's in port and they're rebuilding things or whatever, then you need like steel-toed, something.
Well, there you go. That's
if you're not using
Mr. Clean Tracy. You could have like steel-toed bunny slippers.
Well, yeah, some of the like fancier like Navy guys. Sometimes they would relax the restrictions. It didn't have to be like your standard Navy issue boots, and then you could get like Timberlands or something.
Right.
As long as they were steel-toed, like nice, more comfortable,
Right.
actual padded boots.
Right. Right.
But
I,
yeah, if you're out and trying to be quiet, like no, all that stuff is straight out. You just
there was
sneakers.
Was it? I think it was Das Boot that had. Is it Das Boot that had that scene with the wrench sitting on the edge of the? It was like some. I can't remember. There's a scene where they're trying to be quiet and there's like this thing slowly.
Drops a wrench, or
I can't remember what it was. I gotta watch that movie again.
It was one. If anything, it's even worse on the actual sub, because if you drop a wrench in the wrong place, like on a modern day sub, that's like 3 or 4 stories inside.
Yeah,
and there are some parts of the engineering spaces, like the engine room, where if you happen to be at the top and you happen to be near just the wrong column worth of piping that goes all the way down, it'll literally be plinko.
Oh, no.
Like all the way down. Like it could take like 20 seconds for it to reach the bottom.
Right.
You go, tink-a-tink-a-tink,
That's me. That's me with my Tech Bandits coins. That'll be like, sorry guys.
Sorry. With your coin.
Yeah. I just made a coin. Oh, whoops. Because I'm dropping them all the time, too. My wife's like, what's that? I'm like, oh, sorry, I just dropped my coin again. That was it.
It's even worse on the most modern subs, because they're designed to have what's called dry bilges. So like old subs will have like there's always water or some oil in the bilge or whatever. Like modern submarines, everything that leaks potentially has like a little funnel under it.
Right. Oh no! So you lose everything.
No, that's because the funnels all have screens in them. They thought ahead. They've prepared for you.
Okay. Oh, good.
Maybe the screen would catch your coin. Yes.
Okay. Good.
But if you drop something outside of that equipment and like when it finally does hit the bilge, it's just hitting bare metal.
Right.
Like
so
it just
goes
straight out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. To the point where even the sonar guys in the front of the sub can hear when we, like, in the engine room.
It's like, shut up back there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't. And when you're in those situations, you were never dealing with that. Were you ever dealing with that with enemy vessels, or was this just like on like tests and stuff?
Like if we were, we've done like exercises and stuff. Like we do friendly exercises even with other country submarines.
Right.
Sometime.
Sperry.
And, everybody's trying to be super quiet.
They were Sperry topsiders. Weren't they Sperry topsiders? No, they were Sperrys. They had to be Sperry topsiders. That's right. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd be doing like a test with another country, and you don't want to lose to Japan on your
you don't want to and they have like some stuff like documented beforehand where you have to be in a certain place, a certain window within a certain time, and then afterwards, everybody, while they're doing the exercise, they sort of try to figure out, okay, we think they're over there, we think they're over here, and then when everything's all said and done, and everybody, they basically compare notes, and they go, okay, you thought the submarine was over there, but we know that submarine was actually over there at that time.
Right.
So you actually found them or whatever, right? They sort of figure it out after the fact.
And of course, you don't want to be the sub that let down the entire Navy because you had a friend over who had a coin that he dropped down the thing.
Well, yeah, and it's not as silly as as down periscope is, where the guy figures out how much change he dropped, right?
I haven't seen that film for years.
But it is like those guys are surprisingly good. They'll know like what potentially like what kind of thing dropped, not like it was a coin or something, but like we heard something, and then it's all being recorded, and they can sort of scrub back and play it back and analyze the heck out of it.
Well, they must have AI on this stuff too, right? Where any kind of possible recognized sounds must be just fed into the machine now to some extent.
They had some stuff when I was in, but it was kind of primitive. It was really more human, than anything.
Right.
Even
that's how it starts. Starts off the humans are better.
Computers, like humans can just do some stuff, like perception wise and like pattern recognition wise and things like that. I mean, you're looking at basically a waterfall display of like where the noise is coming from and everything, and it looks mostly like noise, but somehow you're able to pick out just a faint trace of a thing, on that display, where anything computer aided, might not even recognize it. It's probably gotten better.
I was gonna say, because it's all being recorded too, right? So there must be records of all of this stuff.
Well, I'd imagine they can record a lot more of it now. But back then, like when I was in, I mean, when I was on subs,
Their iPod could only hold so much.
Yeah, there was an awful lot of analog stuff going on
Yeah.
there, right?
Well, and they're also running older Windows and stuff, right? Because it's secure and this stuff. Well, it was secured for whatever they were using at the time, right? Or they
there's no Windows.
There's no Windows?
I mean, the only window you're talking the OS, right?
Yeah.
The only Windows that was on the sub was on the completely disconnected from anything tactical system that was just to handle like emails and like things like that.
So was it Linux or something? What are they? I mean, I guess, or maybe you're not allowed to say, but is it like their own proprietary stuff?
The only thing, there was like a fire control system that was like some form of Linux or Unix. It was not even Linux, it was Unix. It was like really, bare bones, primitive, kind of stuff. But again, like bare minimum just to get the job done and be as durable as possible because it's a friggin' submarine.
Yeah,
right?
you kind of don't want to get that wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. You don't. Any more complexity is points of failure.
What do you mean reboot?
Yeah, right. And they would have to reboot that stupid thing. Like
right.
They put that silly little tactical console. It was supposed to help you like plot. Like, okay, we know this guy's going this direction, and we're gonna shoot at this angle, and like it was to figure out the firing solutions. Like
yeah, James Gurney. It's not a Mac. I'm thinking it's probably not a Mac, James.
It's not a Mac. It's definitely not Windows.
It's like James is preaching to the choir because I think as my laptops from now on, they're going to be Macs. Like I love the PC. I use the PC all the time, but I think I'm going to be, the Mac is just, it's an appliance. It's not a, yeah.
As long as it does what you need it to do and no more than that, right? Then it's fine.
I'm holding off on until the what is it? The M5s or the what are they called? The M5s? Is that what
there's the new ones like the M1 Pro.
Oh, the M1. Okay, so the M1. I'm waiting for the M1 to sort of really like get firmly seated in their products so that I could, because I have a feeling that the iPad is gonna. I don't think we're gonna need to. I don't think we're gonna need laptops soon. I'm convinced that the iPod is going to be the way. The iPod. I'm convinced the iPod is going to be around for years.
iPad, really?
I think so because it's. Have you played with the Pro?
What's
the iPad newest? Pro with the pencil is.
My wife has one that's. I don't think it's a Pro, but it's one of the more recent ones.
The Pro that works with a pencil is so ridiculously intuitive. To the point where I used it for about like 10 or 15 minutes the other day, and then I went to use my computer, and I was like, "Oh shoot, I can't. Oh right, I can't do that." I mean, like I don't like touchpad stuff. I don't like. I've on Stargate. I refuse to use pencils and stuff. But when it comes to doing things like 3D design or any graphic design stuff, having a pencil just makes a huge difference. And they
go back, rewind. So on Stargate, what were you doing that you would have needed a pencil for that you didn't want to use a pencil for?
Oh, all of my laptops had these stupid styluses, and I was like, I'm not using the stylus. They're like, but it comes with the stylus. It doesn't work without the stylus. I'm like, I don't care. I was like, that didn't make any sense because like you're in the middle of a scene, you're like, let me just see if I can. Well, let me just get the pencil off the string, and I'll write this down. And it was like, I just don't believe that's the way it was going to be. And
it was, and back then it was like pens weren't great.
Oh God, it was awful. It was awful, and I was like, no, I'm not fiddling with that. I got enough lines to worry about without having to worry about how to these stupid little pencil's gone. But
no, I get it.
But now I've reversed that now because using the pen on the iPad Pro is like a revelation. It feels absolutely like using a pencil. It feels
natural.
Yeah.
And that's just a matter of technology needs to advance enough to make it so it's more emulating of the real. The real thing.
Well, and this is it, and the Mac operating system is becoming so locked down now with what can I mean, other than running, I guess, a Windows, emulator or whatever the hell it is that they do on a virtual machine thing. It's basically you're stuck in the Apple ecoverse anyways. So why not just use their iPad? There's more applications on the iPad than there is on the machine itself now, the laptop itself. So.
Yeah. I mean, as long as what's there does what you need it to do.
And it really is. I've got a tablet that I use for the 3D design stuff. For the 3D, I'm playing with Blender right now, and it's okay. And on the PC, it's slightly less than okay. I just find that it's just not Not very responsive. It's an older pad and stuff, admittedly, but I'm kind of thinking about going to the iPad. But of course, the iPad doesn't have a bunch of stuff that I need, anyways.
You got to build a PC with a bunch of RAM in it.
Oh yeah, now so what was the deal? You built some crazy, was it all RAM or was it SDs? I mean, what was the deal on that?
Okay, so part of my dabbling.
Oh, just for
Intel
people so
side-
they know, maybe just let people know what you're doing, where you are now, what you do, and like just so it occurs to me.
I'm the storage technical analyst at Intel. So I spent like a decade reviewing SSDs and hard drives and all that stuff with Ryan, and actually when David was on the podcast a few times.
That's right.
That gang over there.
Yeah.
And then eventually moved over to Intel. I sort of tried to get myself earlier and earlier in the process because I would find issues with like storage technologies when I went to review them, and I'd be like, hey, this is a problem, you guys should fix this. And I try to get earlier and earlier into the process so that I can hopefully find and get those issues fixed before the thing actually gets launched or sold.
And eventually Intel's like, you know what? Maybe it would just be better if we fixed them before we made them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do now, and I also like test not just the SSDs, but I test like the storage performance of Intel systems.
Right. Oh, really?
So
Okay.
How fast is your computer at doing storage stuff? And I'm paying attention to that and making sure that that stays the way it should and doesn't go slower than it's supposed to.
Have you been playing with the new? What's the new Intel chip that's come out? The latest and greatest. 11. The 11th.
12900K.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, the newest one. Yeah, I got one over there currently running storage benchmarks.
Oh, really? Wait, so you're running them at home?
Yeah.
Or I guess you can work from home. I suppose that's.
Yeah,
I didn't think of that.
We have an office here too, but like some of the stuff I've been dabbling with is the Chia stuff, actually.
Right.
So you were joking that it took you so long to make those couple of plots.
It took me I think 48 hours to get the 2 plots done.
Okay, you ready for me to blow your mind?
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so the Chia workload is pretty phenomenal from like a storage tester perspective because it's a thing that uses a crap load of memory and does a bunch of sorting of data and uses a lot of storage like performance, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's a pretty cool, as far as tests or ways to evaluate the performance of a thing or try to tune to make a thing faster, right? That's pretty great.
So you're gonna have like the Chia test, for the storage Chia test.
Yeah, it's kind of like a benchmark, right? It's like a lot of people complain that like benchmarks aren't the correct approximation of like doing the actual real world thing.
This would be the real world.
Yeah, but the Chia thing is an actual real world workload.
So why don't you develop a benchmark system for Chia?
Well, that's the thing. It's not hard. You just do it. You just use Chia. That is the benchmark. You just you build a system, you make a plot on the system, and how long did it take?
And you can pull the stats. You can just pull the stats from the Chia stuff. So
yeah. So
thank you, GR.
So it took you 48 hours to do like what? Make a couple.
Okay, it was like 48 hours to do. It was 2 plots.
Okay.
I started a third one. And I was like, this is nuts. I just forget.
You want to? Hold on. Let me look it up. You want to know my record is currently sitting at?
And thank you, Mentally Skinny too. What is your record at?
I got to scroll back to where I was talking to one of the Chia developers about it, and I
Oh, that's got to be cool too, because you can call up and go like, "Hi, it's Alan from Intel. We just need to go through some Chia stuff here."
Well, I worked with one of the guys that moved over to the Chia team.
Oh, so you already had it in anyways.
Yeah, there was one of like the main guys that previously worked at Intel. He was in charge of like the roadmaps and like the figuring out design requirements for things. Like he did that stuff for SSDs on Intel side, and then he saw the potential for the Chia stuff, and they needed a guy to do it, and so he just moved over, and they.
How is Chia doing? Is it doing at all very well?
I mean, it's like as far as its value, it's been trending down.
A lot of them have been trending down though recently. To be fair.
I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff's
Oh my God! I mentioned for the coins. I mentioned an NFT, like adding an NFT to because I left a little spot on the coin that I could etch whatever information we would need on it, and I mentioned that on Twitter, and I have never had so much negativity dumped on me. There is such a
Really?
backlash to the NFT stuff now, and I was like, it's for tech bandits.
But you're just doing it. You're just doing it for fun.
I'm doing it for fun for the kids and for tech bandits. And I was like, but oh my God, people were like,
Really?
not you, David. Why would you go to the devil? I'm like, what?
Well,
What?
maybe they thought you were doing like trying to do some large scale.
I'm not doing the Kevin Smith, smoke and toke coins or whatever they're called, and like that.
Right. Yeah, you're just doing a fun thing for a small group of kids. Like
But
that's
try to
totally
explain that on
different.
Twitter. Forget it. Like people were like,
Yeah, it's not the right place.
but it's so funny that the place has become such like it's. I didn't realize that people had such a negative image of it because I've just always found it interesting. I'm not going to invest my life savings in it. I'm not going to risk my kids' education on crypto. I'm dabbling. I probably in total I have maybe like $1,500 in total in a bunch of different little things here and there that I just thought were kind of fun. I mean,
And hey, if you had that $1,500, bought yourself a Bitcoin pizza like a few years ago, look where you'd be today.
exactly. I mean, that's the funny thing, right? I mean, it's like I'm sure there are people out there who are in that situation. I think the problem right now is it just feels like the market, as is always the case with these things, the market is flooded with hucksters now trying to pull a fast one on people.
Well,
like,
it's just like the biodiesel thing. Once enough people catch on, it's not a secret anymore,
yeah.
right? And now everybody's in it to make a buck, and
I really like it though. I love the idea of it though because I love it even just from the film industry standpoint. Just things like, instead of people doing like rip off, like the number of people the number of like fake signatures, the number of fake things out there.
Sure,
The idea of having like some kind of a digital receipt even for that kind of stuff to me is pretty neat.
That's good. Just the standpoint of securing data, like I think like all government like public record stuff should probably move over to like
The
being
blockchain
secured
stuff.
by some sort of blockchain.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
DMV
if you're in
records,
China, it's
Yeah.
all going to be on their blockchain, right?
Yeah, in the U.S., you got to get like title insurance on your house to make sure that like if the records go sideways at some point,
So
you don't wanna
that's-
lose the title of your house. Imagine it was just secured by blockchain technology.
Well,
and
I wanted to
non-conforming.
invest in. There's a thing called like bacon or something. It's like I think it's like they come up with these terrible names. I'm like, you really want to be taken seriously? Don't call your coin bacon. But anyways, the idea was like you're bringing home the bacon. Anyway, I don't know, whatever the deal is. Anyway, but the idea was that it was like home mortgages on the blockchain, so that you could have a mortgage to 1 million people as opposed to one banking system. I mean, I lost it on the bank the other day. I had a full on McKay. I went full McKay on the bank the other day, like like screaming, like yelling, like going, like I could just see people in the bank going, like, "What the hell? It's like someone who's driving the crazy train now?" But because they completely screwed up and they would not fix it. And then my wife a couple of days later had the same issue where they bounced every single check she wrote to to everyone on the short film, right? So we paid people on the short film. They bounced all of the checks. Why?
Oh, great.
Because when I put the money in, instead of just holding some of the cash back on the check,
held it all back.
they held the entire check back. And she's like, no, you don't. Like she's had movies go through these accounts that are in the $2-3 million. And she's like, and you're putting a hold on a $20,000 check. It's insane. Anyway,
Right.
so
Yeah, banks, like, yeah. But
the other thing that
actually,
drives me crazy about the
I
sorry, I was gonna say the other thing that drives me crazy about the whole crypto backlash is people are saying like how much electricity it uses, and I'm like, how much electricity does the bank use? Think about all the branches they've got, all the people that are driving back and forth to work, they've got whole systems in place to take our money, and that I mean, to me, it's like the gasoline. It's like the oil companies saying how dangerous hydrogen or fuel cells are, and you don't know those things can just catch fire. It's gasoline for God's sake.
Well, the other thing is there's a lot of like misconceptions about how the crypto thing doesn't have to use a lot of power. You can make it in such a way, like for example, the Ethereum network, which is known for using an awful lot of GPU power even today, right? It's eventually going to transition over to what's called proof of stake. So then it's just sort of like everybody that has a bunch of it, nobody has more than half. Like no one person has more than half, right?
Right.
So you don't have to worry about a hostile takeover.
Right.
or the equivalent of
Yeah,
such.
because you have to have like, don't you have to have like 51% of, or it's 50 something percent of the, or maybe it's
to be
more
able
than that.
to sort of assume control of the blockchain.
What do they call it? To
like
call yourself a Byzantine something. They got all these terms. This is the other thing that drives me crazy is they are throwing around so many made up terms now.
right.
You know, apparently
But like,
a Byzantine protection is basically just it stops you from having people who are trying to hack the blockchain. Is that?
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
well, just say that.
But once it moves over to a point where they transition over to just proof of stake, you could potentially have like the computing power on your phone could make the next block, because they
Right.
don't need it to be super difficult anymore, because you're not worried about this takeover thing
Huh.
anymore, right?
Well, that's interesting. So you could be earning a basic income just by having your phones and
No.
fridges and stuff
No,
running.
no, it's not. That's not the point. It's
Okay, no, I see.
like your phone can compute the necessary thing it needs to do a transaction.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Like it's super lightweight is my point. So that once it switches over to proof of stake, you don't need warehouses full of GPUs to be able to secure that. It's just secured by the fact that no one person is in control of it.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So the cryptography still holds, even if the difficulty is super easy, provided that you have enough people, like to do this consensus.
Can
kind of
Bitcoin
thing.
make that transition?
I don't think Bitcoin can.
Yeah, I feel like that one's kind of stuck in the rut.
Just because of the way it works. Like, yeah, I mean, I think potentially it could shift over to it.
Well, because
but-
eventually we're going to run out of Bitcoin anyways. And at that point, can you not then change the system so that once all the Bitcoins are in circulation, could you not change the system to run in a more environmentally friendly way?
Bitcoin's trying to make it easier. Well, this won't necessarily fix
Thank
the
you,
environmental
Krillin64.
problem. This won't fix the environmental piece, but Bitcoin's trying to make at least the transaction costs lower with this thing called a Lightning Network, which they've been trying to do for like several years, which is just have sort of a thing off to the side of Bitcoin that's secured by Bitcoin, but the Lightning thing can do things for much cheaper and more frequently.
Right, without having to require all that proof of work stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still sort of, secured by the other big machine that's running. But part of the problem with Bitcoin is there's only so much room for transactions in the ledger. Like as you're making more blocks, there's only so much room. So like trades become very expensive. If I just wanted to send you some Bitcoin, I would spend like $50.
Dude,
just for the
Ethereum.
transaction.
I lost a ton of money because I didn't know how it worked. And my wife had a friend who was doing some NFT thing and she's like, we got to do this. And I was like, I don't know. Normally I'm like, woohoo, let's try something new. But in this case, I was like, they were like giant robots.
And on Ether, right?
They were like giant robots. Yeah. And we were like, so we had to sign up and I had to have a certain amount of money in the account in case they chose us to pick one of these giant robots. And I'm like, Jane, seriously? Like this is like such a role reversal. Like I thought, if anyone's going to be buying giant robots, you think it'd be me? No, it's Jane. But dutifully, I signed up for it, and in doing so, in transferring the money from like a Coinbase account to whatever the wallet was that the MetaMask thing, the transaction, not the transaction fees. What do they call them? The fuel.
Fuel for Ether, yeah.
I lost like a good couple $100. Like it was insane. Yeah.
You might.
Yeah.
So there have been times.
Sorry,
where,
wait a sec. And that might have been also because I sent them to the wrong wallet. I sent them back to myself, and then I sent them to the right wallet. So I did 2 transactions and lost a fair amount of money in the process.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one.
So this Chia thing with the 48 hours.
Yes, let's go back to that, shall we?
Yeah.
Actually, before we do, let me say thank you to a few people.
Sure.
Krillin64, thank you very much. GR, thank you. Jet, GR followed and then subscribed. Thank you very much. Mentally Skinny has followed. Crimson Fluff, Mickey Chan 2050, Lexi K, Wolves Den. I think we're back then. I think we're back to where we were then, right? Kittysaurus X, that's kind of fun. Hello, thank you for following. KJ, everyone's got good names today. KJ 2166. Imp Cave SAV. Oh my God, I can't say that. obscure character. I love it. That was all 21 hours ago. Okay, that's fine. I've gone back far enough. Thanks, Alan. Sorry. I just don't want to ignore everybody because I feel bad. They go to all the trouble of subscribing, that I'm too busy nattering away, and then
You gotta do your shout outs.
well, and then you know what happens is Cal gets mad at me.
Oh, it's the hammer.
The hammer tells me off. Oh my God, she comes down. The hammer is not just for everyone else out there. The hammer's on me too, big time.
Goes down and up.
Oh
the
yeah,
chain.
yeah. You
Yes.
never know. Never know. Sorry. Okay. So Chia.
Yeah. So okay. So for you to make a plot on that system, it was taking you like 24 hours for one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the short version of what happens
Right.
when you make a plot. Okay. It generates the thing generates some data. It's about 250 gig worth of data.
Mm-hmm.
It has to go through a bunch of sorts.
Hmm.
So you're trying to sort 250 gig worth of a bunch of different crypto hash number things.
Right.
I'm really simplifying here, but to do that,
But that's happening in your internal storage.
it uses the SSD or whatever the
Right.
drive is.
Yeah. That's so. I told it to use the internal for that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so you would need, something hopefully kind of speedy because you have to do a bunch of reading of, if you're trying to sort something, you don't only read the 250 gigabytes once, you have to sort of go through it several times and
Right.
sort of, trying to put everything in order and everything, right? So you're doing a bunch of reading, a bunch of writing. It ends up working out to something like 8 terabytes or something worth of reads. And
Wow.
I think it's like 1.5 terabytes worth of writes.
And is
That
that
have to
doing
happen.
something, or is that like what is the
So-
point of that?
It's taking the what starts as 250 gig worth of like hash data, and it sorts them and creates these sort of indexes, so that in the end you end up with a like very compressed 100 gigabyte file. So the plot files that spit out at the end are 100 gig each, right? But that file is indexed in such a way, there's a bunch of tables within it, so that when the challenge comes down from the Chia network, it doesn't have to scramble and look all over the hard drive to figure out
Right.
if you have the
It's
answer.
already indexed and ready to go.
It had just sort of walks through a few of these tables and says, "Oh, okay, that's this one more table deep," and all it does is just read from a couple of spots on the drive
Right.
to figure out if you've got it or not.
Right.
So it's about efficiency, right? But you have to do all that work up front so that it doesn't,
Just
kill
like
you on
just
the
like you'd
back end.
index your computer for searching or
Sure.
yeah. Okay, got it.
Same
Yeah.
exact kind of principle, right? But
Okay.
it's a lot of work to do all that, and
On
then
the front end.
on your system took 24 hours to manipulate all that data and
Yeah.
do that, right?
Yeah.
So I've been building like these, potential. I'm like, I was kind of like took some initiative on them. I was like, well, Intel's got like fast storage stuff. Like, why don't we figure out, okay, how fast can I make this go?
Why don't I make some money while I'm doing my job?
Well, no, actually, that specifically, anything that I do for Chia is completely my own. Like, it's firewall.
Oh, you get to do that separately. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's my own set of hardware.
All right.
Whenever I do like benchmarking or performance testing for the Intel side, those plot files, like, first of all, they're not even a key that's the same as my personal key
Oh, I
that I
see.
make the plots with.
You have to give the plots to Intel?
No, I don't. I just delete them. They're useless.
That seems like a
you're not,
waste
You're
to
not
me.
allowed to make crypto money on the company's hardware dime. Like, this is,
Okay.
thou
I
shalt
see.
separate the two, right?
All right. Very good.
But performance-wise, like, the number is still the same, right? So if I build the system personally, that's going to go just as fast as whatever the thing is I built for,
Right.
to do the Intel testing.
Right.
So I was like, okay, how fast can I make this thing go, right? Oh, we have these new like workstation class systems coming out. Let me try it on that. And so then I, and see how fast I can get that. And then I ended up getting down to, let's see, one of my earliest was somewhere around like 12 minutes to make a plot.
12 minutes a plot, and I was taking 24
24
hours.
hours,
Jesus.
right? So that was like the first attempts where I was using like these faster Optane SSDs and like reasonably fast systems and stuff. And now I'm to the point where, and I'm probably going to break this record soon because I just bought more memory to put into the server that I'm trying to like break the records with.
So how much memory do you have in the server? Like, what are you looking at eventually?
Currently, there's a 0.5 terabyte in there, and this is another 0.5 terabyte.
Of just RAM.
Just RAM.
Jesus.
So, yeah, because if you have enough RAM, you can put all of the data, just leave it in memory. You don't even have to use an SSD.
Right.
Right? You do all the
Jesus.
sorting
Okay.
in your head, so to speak.
Right. Right.
Um,
But you still
so
got to write it somewhere eventually. Yes.
well,
No?
when you're finished with it, you write out the 100 GB file to the storage.
Okay. Right.
But
got
that
it.
only takes, a fast SSD can write 100 gig in like in 15 seconds or something.
Right. Right.
Um,
Now it's funny that
so
my Western Digital backup drive strangely was not that fast. My external.
it's only going to write at like 100, maybe 200
Yeah.
megabytes per second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was less than blazing, shall we say? But
Well,
good,
sure. Well,
good for backup.
it's a record player.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
is giant record player. That's true.
So the current server, the last number I got out of the server was 215 seconds, which is 3.6 minutes.
Wow.
So it still has to do all that work, all that same sorting, all that manipulation. But you're going from, think about the scale there. You're going from 24 hours.
Yeah.
Down to, 3.6 minutes.
So this was on an old Mac. So that's that's sort of fair. This isn't even like it's one of the Mac. It's the garbage Macs. I gave it to my sister and she gave it back. That's how much everyone loves these things.
The trash can?
The trash can. I got the trash can back and I was like, I'm doing nothing with it. So I just ran this on it.
Sister gave you the trash can back.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, it's a nice computer. Like, it's if you're not trying to do anything with it, but then, that's, yeah. So I just thought, I was curious.
It's old now. It's just a thing. It's just,
yeah.
It's only so fast.
So are you.
Old. Well,
because it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, but then the question I would have is like, how much money are you putting into a system like this? Is just purely an experiment, or is this something that will be viable as a business, as a chia farming?
So the reason I'm playing with it on the Intel side is so that if we wanted to make some claims and say, well, here's how fast we can do this thing in case you wanted to buy a computer to do chia.
Right. Got it. Yes, which is probably smart right now, given all the crypto stuff.
It's yet another performance metric, right? Like
right.
I test other performancey, storage performance, whatever kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they have like video game ones even, don't they? Where it's like it'll run,
sure.
Yeah. Tomb Raider, whatever.
Yeah, that's the main thing that the claims like personal computer like a gaming claims are made on today. They'll run some game, they'll see how fast does it go and what quality settings and how fast is it compared to the competing systems and whatnot, right? Yeah, that's a whole another ball of wax as far as like it's just one company A makes a thing, company B makes a competing thing. You try to figure out which one makes it faster, and if we're faster, then you try to show that off, right? Simple.
So, so with this chia thing you're doing, then you're creating plots very quickly, which means that you can create a lot of plots very quickly, which means that you have a huge surface that's farming.
Well, yeah, that's now realize the speed that you can do it is only one piece of the equation. Right? Like I wasn't using all of the crazy fast like Intel hardware that I was testing to make the plots. I had to build my own computers sitting in the basement to make the plot.
Right.
So it took me a good few months.
What do they run on? What are they? Are they like some Unix system or something, or some Linux or something, or what's
it's all Linux.
I guess because bare bones, make it go.
It's bare bones. I had like several computers running. I didn't want to have you don't want to have like 5 Windows computers you're trying to manage.
Right.
It's better just to do Linux. And also, Linux just does the chia thing faster.
Are they networked together?
Faster.
Are they working in combination?
Yeah, well, they were. Like they've been shut down for months now because I filled all the drives. Like I can't put plots anymore anywhere anymore. Everything's full, David.
So you run out of room but don't you just leave it on the network going? I don't understand how that works then.
Once you've made you made those 2 files.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then your program is still running.
Yeah.
Right? And you're not making more files.
Right.
Right? So you've made your files. They're sitting there. Right?
Yeah.
And if you win a block, then you win a block. Right? If it happens, it happens. Right?
Is it just random? Like, is it just completely random, or is it?
Yeah, it's absolutely random. Like your chances, you could actually get a block tomorrow.
Right.
But what does your
The like.
thing say? What is it? How many years?
Let me go check. It might have gone up. Let's see. It's. Oh no, it's back down again. It's back down again. It's only 109 years now.
109 years.
Yeah.
So here's what's funny. Even if you made, it's such the beginning of the curve there. You only
Yeah.
have 2 plots. If you just made like 2 more plots, you could cut that in half,
Yes.
right? Like,
Can I? What do I need? How much space do I need? I could probably put. It's like it's a 12 terabyte drive.
Well, it's 100 gig per plot.
There you go. So I'll make a few more
So
then.
you could.
But what about this
make a few
pool
more.
thing? How does this pool thing work then?
The pool thing is just you're contributing the plots you have to a larger pool of people, and so
Right.
you don't have to wait 109 years for somebody to win the block.
Right.
Because you're effectively a larger group.
You're
then
getting
it's gonna happen more
fractions. It's more
frequently.
regular. So it's
Yeah,
like
and
it's
what-
like nice hash.
It's exactly like NiceHash. It's just the
Okay.
pool. That's what NiceHash is it's working on a pool. Well, NiceHash is in the ground a different way than a pool, but because NiceHash is you're contracting to, you're buying hashing power instead of
Well,
being part of a pool. But it's
all
the
right. Well,
same.
here's a crazy question. What is to stop me from? Why don't I just? Could you not just run it on your computer locally and have the plots online somewhere? Like, could you use like? Could you be
Yeah,
throwing
it could
this
be-
stuff onto Backblaze or something? I mean,
It could be anywhere.
so
I mean, you could put them on. I'm not sure if that would be cost effective.
well, that's the only thing I would be. I'm assuming that cost would be the issue, right? It just you're not making enough in Chia to fund the amount of
So the-
space you need online.
So the return on investment time, if you do all the math for like, if you spent this much on a hard drive and it had this many terabytes and you filled them all with these plots and then you just ran the Chia thing and how much do you make over time, right? If you do all that math, it works out to, I don't know, it's like between a year and 2 years or something on the return on investment. So if you buy 12 terabytes today, within a year or two, you will have made back the money.
Right, I see. Right,
Right.
unless it
So-
goes leaping up in price or something, and then
Or it could tank. It could go either way.
I don't know what
just
you're
like any other-
talking about. How could it possibly go down, Alan?
Right.
I'm
right.
involved.
So
Could you
so,
explain what happens though exactly? Like, because there's a lot of people asking here, and I'm not sure that I can explain to them exactly how it works. Like, how instead of this system that they use with Bitcoin, what is the difference with it? Why farming instead of mining, for want of a better word?
So with Bitcoin, you have to have a certain amount of hashing, like compute power,
Right.
right? And then
You are actually processing equations of some sort,
yes, you're trying to figure out the next answer to a mathematical problem.
and that will be faster. The faster and more powerful your
Yes.
computer is,
And
or
the
GPU
more
is.
powerful it is, the better a chance that you are the next one compared to everybody else of winning the next answer. When and then the reward for getting the correct answer is that you can sign the next block on the blockchain.
Okay.
So the next,
and you get
there's a
rewarded with a
reward.
portion of a Bitcoin or something for that?
Yes, it's well, no, it's still, even today it's not like a fraction of a Bitcoin. It's some, I forget what the number is now. But like back when it started, your reward was 50 Bitcoin.
Right, right. I remember when the Twit TV guys were doing it, and they were like, they ran it overnight. The first night
Yeah.
had 50 Bitcoin.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they won a block, they got
Yeah.
50 Bitcoin. They shouldn't have sold it.
They didn't. They trashed their computer.
Well, yes, even
There
worse.
you go.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then the way the network works over time, that keeps cutting in half. So now it's down to, I don't know, it's like it's 4, 6 or something like that. That's what the block is. So
So it's not. It's no longer cost effective to be doing the Bitcoin mining, or is it?
it depends on how high it is. I have one Bitcoin ASIC that I kind of bought for fun
Right.
back in like 2016,
Right.
and it made enough to pay itself off.
How fast?
Back then, it took like, well, because Bitcoin went up like crazy back in like 2016, 2017.
Right.
So it paid itself off within like 3 months,
Wow.
which was pretty crazy.
But you can't
now-
you can't get the GPUs you need now anyway, so it'd be kind of pointless.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can run it now as well. The problem is that, I mean, it's like a little space heater thing. It draws like 1,200 watts, and the fan just
Right.
it just blows. It
Of
just
course.
throws heat out.
Right,
You know,
right,
and it's
right.
like, is it worth even firing up? Because at this point, there's so much more hashing power on that Bitcoin network that this one thing is just a
Just
smaller
not gonna.
fraction of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so it's lucky to break even on the power cost to just run the thing.
Right.
Right.
That's
So,
what we were trying to explain to my son, was who had his 3080 Ti running, I guess, was doing nice hash. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm just not sure. He's like, I'm making $8 a day. I'm like, yeah, but what am I spending in electricity? He's like, well, that's
no,
not my problem.
that is profitable. That
Is it?
still, it's very yeah. Yeah,
Really?
because if
Don't tell him
you're
that.
making well,
Well, because otherwise we got the freaking LEDs all night and the fans going, and like it's like my wife
yeah,
is not
and
going to
that's
put up with it.
yeah. I mean, I've got a 3090 in this PC right here, and I could be mining with it, but I don't because I don't want the thing. I don't need my legs to be that warm
Right. Right.
here, right? However,
Give it some time. My feet are kind of cold. I put down a sound blanket. My feet were so cold.
see,
You just send that thing over here. I'll fire it up.
however, though, like my garage,
Yeah.
I have a couple of systems with some GPUs in it, just sitting running in my garage because they're making something. It's not nothing.
And you got a little fan cave, and you've got like a nice warm fan cave now.
And they're trying to warm up the garage. Well, I sold to buy more hard drives because of the silly Chia crap. I ended up selling a bunch of the GPUs that I had.
Oh, really? What were you selling? What did you get? What did you get rid of? Not
I've got
3090s.
Anything that was a 10 series card. I used to have a bunch of like 1060s, 1070s, 1080s,
Right.
and like 1080 Ti's.
People are spending serious money on those right now.
That's why I sold them.
Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah.
What did you get
Yeah,
for them?
I sold them. I just did the math on like a 1080 Ti. I got like $500 or $600 for, but I
Wow.
had like 16 of them.
Jesus.
This was
Te-
stuff that I bought back in 2017.
I mean, I was drooling over that 1080 Ti's for ages. And then all of a sudden the 30 series came out, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah. And then when the 30 series came out, that was right when all this Bitcoin and stuff started going crazy again.
Right.
And so then that led to, 3080s were only supposed to cost like $700.
I know.
That
The
is not
suggested
what they're going for.
manufacturers, whatever it was, like it's so crazy to see. Because every so often I'll go and have a look, and it's like, because just on the off chance, maybe there's one kicking around and someone,
It's depressing. It's depressing.
Oh my God,
they're
they're thousands and thousands of dollars.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I'm tempted to put a crappier graphics card in this computer here because I'm sitting on like what is it now, like a $2,000 card, like for a 3090.
You're sitting on
And I'm not-
gold.
And it's not like I'm doing crazy gaming all the time. I just kind of do random stuff.
But that would be good for mining, wouldn't it?
A 3090.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a little more wasteful than the 3080,
Oh, really? Oh, so 38 is actually better at it from a power standpoint.
and cost like price.
Oh, the price of the card. Yes. Yeah. So I was looking at the 30.
The 3090 has like twice the memory of a 3080, and it doesn't need it to do mining.
Right.
So
I
the
see.
memory,
I just want a 3090 to laud it over people. That's the only reason why I would want it. It's just purely bragging rights.
Look what I got.
Exactly. Did you hear about Gimpy G? Gimpy G had his house burned down, and
I heard about that part.
so he
Is there
lost
any
his
new
3090. He lost everything. Actually, Luke, there's a big YouTuber who's going to help him out doing like a stream of some sort, I think. But
development? He has insurance though, right?
he has insurance, but they are insurance companies, so they're taking their sweet ass time.
That's gonna be.
And they had to move him into a new house, right? Because he was at the Comfort Inn. Well, get this. So the Comfort Inn, one of the nights he's staying there after this fire, there's a fire alarm.
At the Comfort Inn.
At the Comfort Inn. And for some reason, their assistive suites are on the second floor. So his nephew throws a blanket over him, races him to the special elevator to get you out in an emergency if you're in a wheelchair. Doesn't work.
And fire.
And they buzz no, it's designed like it's a lift system to get you out during a fire. And so they press the button for assistance and no one shows up. So they attempted to go down the stairs, but of course it's an electric wheelchair. It weighs a freaking ton. And it takes out the nephew and basically falls down the stairs. So the two of them fall down the stairs and then get treated by the
stairs in his wheelchair.
He went down the stairs in his wheelchair with his nephew at the front of it, trying to stop it from falling over. And So they get treated by the same fire department that's just treated them at the house that they burned down, and the alarms went off for 5 hours because they couldn't get. They have to be shut off by the whoever it is, the manager, and they just couldn't get them. So for 5 hours, the alarms went off, and they got a phone call from Comfort Inn the next morning. I'm like, oh, thank God. At least they, and they said, no. They called to say that they called to tell my sister off because apparently she made the night manager cry. And I'm like, made the night manager cry. I was like, I was like, honestly, it's time to take Comfort Inn down. Like seriously, it's a not only is,
or at least that Comfort Inn, because they don't seem to have had their crap together.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? I mean, like, could you imagine that? Like, you're like in a wheelchair. You've just got out of a house fire that's destroyed everything you own. Yeah. And the alarm goes off, and people are running around going, ah! And they go to the freaking lift to get to, yeah. No, I was like...
designed to, yeah.
I was like, dude, you got to move to Canada. You got to get out of that, wherever he is, somewhere around Denver. He's got to get out of there, come to Canada. We'll just have to look after you.
Is he okay since he... Like,
he's okay.
How many times did he rotate on the way down?
Well, this is it. He didn't, because his nephew once again saved his ass. But his nephew had like bruises all down his chest, and Gimpy G. They're saying like they're like, is your arm supposed to do this? He's like, yeah, no, it's okay. It normally does that. Like it's like because his body is so not typical. The
Gimpy G rolled over his nephew.
Yeah,
basically.
But almost like it's almost like getting caught. It's like his nephew got caught under, like it was like as he's trying to hold him from,
It's like something out of Family Guy.
I was like, dude, like I think he's like his luck has got to change. That's all I got to say. Well, Lucasfilm sent him an entire collection of Baby Yodas.
Really?
He had this whole wall of Baby Yodas that got just toasted.
That's cool, and that's the thing the insurance company is not going to replace.
Well, maybe not. It's true. Yeah, I don't know what they. Well, I don't even know. Like, I mean, and how do you replace collectibles that are? The whole point is they're collectible, right? I mean, oh yeah, they're a little burnt, but they're fine. It's like, well, it's not collectible anymore, is it? I said to MGM, and a whole wall of Stargate McKay paraphernalia as well. Which apparently he didn't have, but I felt he should have.
He didn't have it because it's still in an envelope on your shelf over there.
It's true because I haven't sent it to him yet. It's true. I've got a nice plate. There's apparently
you saved him. You saved him. You had a feeling it was going to.
I had a feeling. Yeah. He also said, "Don't have a fire this time of year. It's a really bad time to have a fire. Wait till March because if you have it now, you've got Thanksgiving and Christmas to deal with, so the insurance company keeps shutting down for periods of time.
Wait till March.
Yeah. So that's
definitely Gimpy G's.
His advice to the tech bandits was wait till March if you're going to have a house fire. That was his thing.
Wait till March.
Yeah. But you know what? I got to say, I know he's had a lot of real lows, but he's an amazingly positive guy. Like I can't believe he's
always in a cheery mood.
He's probably in the chat as we speak. I should check. Actually, oh my God, the Tech Bandits. I should say hi to the Tech Bandits. Shit. I mean, shoot. This is a children's show, Alan.
Yes.
Listen, we didn't fit. Listen, before I go to them, I want to we talked about Bitcoin. We didn't get to the Chia part. So how does the Chia part work? It's like a bingo card or something? Like
it works kind of the same way, except that the network issues a challenge every so often. It's something like 7 seconds or something.
Mm-hmm.
Every 7 seconds, some challenge sort of question goes out.
Right.
And out of all of the plot files that have been generated by people, one of those files is going to have the result that is closest to the answer.
Right. Okay.
To the challenge.
Right.
And so when the challenge goes out, spreads out over the network. Everybody that's running a Chia program, like you have right there, right? Mm-hmm. Your program every, that many seconds receives the thing and sees and checks your files and sees, okay, do I have any answers that are close? Mm-hmm. And if it's really, really close, then it actually accesses the file and walks through those indexes we were talking about. And if it makes it all the way to the end and it's like, yep, it looks like I have a proof of space.
Right.
Instead of proof of work, right? It actually calls it a proof of space in the client, like if you're watching the log files. And then if it gets it and thinks it has it, the answer, it submits that up to the network. And
bingo. Yeah.
Well, there might be a couple of people that got that far. So once it gets back out to the network checks and says, okay, which one of you guys is the closest, and then that's the winner.
And is it possible to have duplicates? Like, can you have like multiple people winning on that?
It's extremely unlikely for like the very same answer.
Right. Okay.
Like
All right.
that's almost impossible.
Okay.
Which is why it just checks to see like no one's actually going to nail like the answer. It's just a matter of who's the closest to the answer.
Who's the closest to the answer?
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And
so
you
it
can't
is.
just, like,
I like.
you
okay.
can't just make up a number that's close to the answer because of the way that the number is derived through cryptography, right? You can't just easily sort of reverse calculate that thing and figure it out. At least
Right.
not within the network requires you to reply within 30 seconds. So,
Ha.
there's no computer fast enough to be able to get anywhere near that,
Right.
right? To just sort of game it, right? So you have to have done all the work ahead of time. Even the systems I'm running that can, do crazy 215 seconds, like
Right.
those systems
Still not
do
fast
all
enough.
even that, the what's called phase one, which is the part that actually generates all of the stuff before it does all the sorting, I can complete that within
Right.
like just over a minute. But even if I can get that down to the 30 seconds, that doesn't mean that I can get the answer to the question within 30 seconds. That only means I can generate a random set of numbers
Right.
within the 30 seconds. Who the heck knows if that's going to be the right answer or not? So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like you'd have to go, an insane amount faster than
Right.
that to try to.
I'm sure
sort of
people
game it.
are trying.
There are people trying to figure that out, of course, but and the Chia people, like the guy I know that worked at Intel and now works at Chia, he's on the other end of that, making sure that the network remains secure. Like if technology, somebody starts, doing quantum computing stuff like 10 years from now or whatever hypothetical thing happens, right? They can revise the network and make the requirements more strict. Right?
So they can make
network is-
changes to the network as necessary.
Yes.
Without
Yeah,
having
they can-
to screw everything
right.
up.
Yeah, they can change now it has to be 20 seconds instead of 30 seconds, or now it's more difficult, some other thing is more difficult to do. Like they can adjust those parameters, but so it's just a matter of okay, well, how many of these? It's the simplest analogy I can think of that early on I told a buddy of mine about is because a buddy of mine wanted to get into it too. He's like, how does this Chia thing work? And I'm like, okay, they call them plots. It's Chia. It's like the analogy is all farming.
Right,
So let's just
right.
make an analogy off of that, right?
Right.
You know that a meteor is going to hit the U.S. or North America. Here, I'll include Canada for you. North America every 9 seconds or whatever.
Right.
Right. What are the odds of you getting the meteor on your land? Well, if you want your odds to go up, you need to buy more land.
More land. Right. Okay.
Right. You need more. You need a higher percentage of the land. So, however, whatever percentage you have,
More bingo
of
cards.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Basically, more bingo cards.
Right.
So with, to use some actual practical numbers, if you have 33,000 plots, which is 3.2 petabytes.
Wow.
Worth of plots, as I'm reading it right off of the server.
Yeah.
The expected time to win for that, not 109 years, it's 2 days, 8 hours. So on average, I win the next block.
Wow.
Every, little over every 2 days.
So, and what does that translate to in Chia? Or what are they called? Are they called Chia?
So
X Chia, whatever they're called, or X?
XCH is the abbreviation for
Yeah.
it. It's just called Chia. Let's see. Well, a win equates to if you're farming yourself. So like you there with what you're doing. If you win, you're going to get 2 XCH.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
And what can I buy that for right now? What can you buy a Chia for if you were just going to buy it?
It's like 130, 120 something.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's not chump change.
No, it's not.
I don't even know where to buy them anyways. It's none of the exchanges I use sell them.
So that's the other concern is they haven't added them to Coinbase yet.
Yeah.
So it hasn't really spread that far. It's on some exchanges, but so that's the simple version of it. Like with what you're doing, where you're solo farming. If you join a pool, then the way the Chia network works is if you're the person that wins the block, you will still win, so to speak. You will get 0.25 of an XCH, and 1.75 of it goes to the pool.
Right. Okay. So in other words, you're going to get much more of that with a pool because it's a more regular income basically.
Yeah, over time you will get, 1.75 out of 2 worth of a proportion, for of whatever you have. Like if you were although the math in your case is really stretched out. So if it was 109 years, okay,
right.
Well, take some magical Stargate technology so that you can live another 109 years.
Right.
And, over that 109 years, by the time you hit the end of it, you will have made 2 total XCH on average.
That's like $200.
Which is like 200 or 120 bucks
So
or whatever.
I'm
right?
thinking maybe I don't want to dedicate an entire computer and all of the power to this. I'm guessing.
I mean, if you have a computer running and it only has 2 plots on it, and that's all the computer's doing, then yes, you should not be. Like that's.
You should just back off, buddy. Back off. It's time to give it up.
It's not doing you anything.
I'll just buy the damn Chia and hope it goes up. Probably.
So you might be better off.
I think I'm probably better off doing that at this point. Yeah, because if I truly believe in it, which I just like it as an idea. I thought, and again, honestly, this is the whole lifelong learning thing. This is just the idea of it's just fun to set up and watch it go and go. Okay, now I feel like I can talk. I could speak to it a little bit more than I could before, which is just kind of fun. So.
Well, that's the fun part of all this is just what you're doing with the coins that you're doing. You're doing it for the learning experience.
Yeah, again, all these things, if you don't do them, otherwise you're just reading about stuff all the time. I like getting my hands dirty on some of this stuff.
And you always find that there's so much more depth.
See you, Wolf's Den. Thanks for coming by, Wolf's Den. Have a good day. Get some work done.
Yeah, but there's so much more depth to a topic, especially when anything that's a newer technology topic, once you dig into it.
Oh my God. Well, the crypto thing. I still haven't done my 30 hours on crypto. I keep getting sidelined by something else, but I feel like I need to dedicate 30 hours of just pure research to really get a sense of it. Cause I get so confused by most of it.
Yeah. And again, it's just like the other things we were talking about where the biodiesel thing, there's so many other, everybody's in it to make a buck now.
Yeah. It feels a bit slimy right now, which kind of sucks. But I'm sure there's there's going to be other ways. I mean, it's a bad sign when Hollywood's into it. That's usually a bad sign. I feel like the fact so Quentin Tarantino is creating an NFT of his original Pulp Fiction script. So you can own a page of the original Pulp Fiction script as an NFT. I'm like, just sell me the page of the damn script. I mean, you know what I mean? But I guess again, it's everyone. I look, and I get it as well. I mean, you have to earn money, and films don't get made for nothing. So if you want to fund a film,
I do like the tangible things a bit more. Like this thing I sent you a picture of the other day.
Coins. Yeah, I was telling people about that. Right? That's the first transatlantic telephone cable that they did. It didn't work very well because they didn't realize that the salt interacted with all the metal around the outside that they put in to make it strong. But that's a newer one, right? That's newer than the first one.
Newer version. Oh yeah. The first telegraph cable, disintegrated, within a couple of years.
Because of the salt and the.
Yeah. So this is this is clearly not disintegrated, and they actually pulled it back out of the ocean and sliced it up when they decommissioned the cable. Some 20 years later or whatever.
And where did you get it from? Where the hell do you find something like that? Was it just an eBay thing, or?
I happened to find this on eBay before I knew to look for it because I had heard somewhere I read or something that the group that was decommissioning the cable did a short run of them just to give out to some trusted friends or that kind of thing. Like when you did your signing of the photos at the end of the Stargate thing, right?
Right.
They were just let's just make a little commemorative thing, and then you just happen to, you have to stumble across something like that.
You have a little piece of history now.
Yeah, I kind of wanted a piece of that history because I always thought that was, an interesting topic because I was in submarines, and submarines do all these silly things with the super secret submarines can tap undersea cables.
How cool is that? And didn't we find out that we were in fact tapping undersea cables? Wasn't that one of the things that came out in one of the leaks? Was about the fact that we'd actually been clamping onto some of these networks.
I
And
mean, that's a thing submarines can do.
yeah.
You know, it's got to be a very special submarine.
Do you ever
Actually,
you have no desire to get into like DIY submarines or anything? Like that's not you spent your time in small tin cans. Do you? I mean,
there's let's see. I mean, I watch other people like the DIY Perks guy. I
yeah,
think
there's a
just did
couple of
video on
nutty like
made a
couple of
submarine, and
cool little systems. Yeah.
yeah, and then there was like the Brick Experiment channel. The guy makes stuff out of Legos. Like he made a Lego submarine.
That could actually work.
Yeah, because it was in a jar. Like it was in a, he didn't use Lego for the
Got it.
hull.
Okay. Yeah. I was
Clearly.
gonna say I feel that would not be. That's a lot of what's it? Craggle. It's a lot of glue involved in that. I'm guessing.
Like, I pay attention to this stuff from afar. The Smarter Everyday guy got to go out on a
Oh
submarine
yeah.
and do a bunch of like content on that, which was
Yeah.
like great content.
Well, the
on,
Marianas Trench. There's the guys who there was a piece on. Oh my God! I gotta find that. I'm gonna find that for you right now. You're gonna freaking love this guy.
So there's one little nugget that's like, you have to have been on submarines and done like nuclear power on submarines to actually like completely get the thing. But like, there was one point in the. Did you watch the Smarter Everyday series?
I
Like
don't.
the submarine one?
I've watched some of them. I'm not sure I saw that one.
So there was one point where, because he was like the special guests that go on the submarines like VIPs, like they'll put
Right.
them in the XO's bed or the CO's bed.
Right.
Right. Like while those guys are working, the guest gets to go, and like the congressman or the senator or whoever gets to go sleep
Right.
in like the XO stateroom. Right.
Right.
And so he got to go hang out in there where the upper brass sleep and live. Right.
Right.
And he got to use he took video of like what it was like to go to the bathroom on the submarine. Right. And of course he was just shooting like torso up.
Right.
While he was doing it.
Yeah.
But he was in the COXO head stands for bathroom on submarine.
Right.
And there was a set of books up behind him. Right. And he commented in the video saying, I was respectful as to not go through these books because, they're like, special super secret information. I recognized all the books because they're very distinctive like covers on them. And like he would have lost his mind had he opened one of those books, because like he had like the reactor plant operations manual like right up behind
Good toilet
his head.
reading. Good toilet reading.
Yeah, so it's the CO's toilet reading is
Yeah,
like
that's what you want.
casualty procedures and operating procedures and like
Oh my
literally,
God.
it's so funny that it's like something it actually kind of like the feel of it is faithfully represented by shows like Stargate. Where you
Right.
see somebody doing some really crazy procedure to the point where they bust out the book and start flipping through it.
Right. Right.
That stuff is pretty much based on that kind of a thing.
I could totally
the
see that
submarine.
going to the book. You got to go to the book. I get that.
You totally do, right? And there's like, like the people that are operators that have to do stuff in split seconds if like crap hits the fan.
Right.
You have to commit a certain piece of it to memory. But even then, once you've done the immediate things you're supposed to do, you go back and you check the book and you make sure you did all the things you were supposed to do.
Yeah, I could see. I
Right.
could totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I not?
But it's just so comical. Like Destin from Smarter Everybody, he would have lost his freaking mind if he would have sat there for like 3 hours just reading.
Just
the
reading.
thing.
I know. I would be like, I'd
Because
have
yeah,
the
'cause
worst
it's all this
hemorrhoids having
technical-
sat there and read all the books.
Yeah, it's all this technical detail, and like to be when you're submerged. I don't want to say submerged. It's comical using the term submerged for submarine things. When you're submersed in it, like there's like a bottomless pit of technical things that you can be interested in. Like you would go nuts if you were like on a submarine crew.
Oh my God, I'd love it. Oh, absolutely.
You're always very interested in technical things and everything. Like you would be like, oh
yeah.
my God,
It's the Yeah, to me it's all magic to me. I love it.
Yeah, like yes, my job was electronics and like a reactor plant instrumentation and like basically being Homer Simpson on the submarine, and like I get to control the reactor and crap.
Yeah.
And
not too many donuts by the looks of it.
No.
I'm gonna put a link in the chat that you should look at. Not the chat. Oh shit, is it in the chat? No, sorry, it's in the YouTube chat. And everyone else can look at it too. This is a shop tour that you have to look at. It's a CNC guy.
I'll save it for later.
Yeah, watch it later. It's extraordinary.
Oh, NYC CNC. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That guy's cool.
But this guy, so it's one of his friends has a shop in New York City, I guess. And it's like it's beautiful. Like the way he's used space, given how small a space it is, you'll freak out.
So like that just as an example that even though I did this technical electronic stuff on the submarine, I work on my own cars. I was interested in mechanics and stuff like
Right.
that, and just by happenstance, when we went to, again, something lifted, well, movies show relatively faithfully, is that like if we're doing drills, like we go to battle stations,
Right.
right?
Right.
If we need to shoot a torpedo at something, we'll go to literally battle stations torpedo, where everybody has a different place to go, where they're trained and more practiced at doing that, other job.
So no one's standing around
right?
going like, "What am I supposed to do now?" Was that the yeah?
Well, when I was the brand new guy on the submarine, they just happened to not have a person to be what's called the phone talker, which is just a guy dedicated just to have a headset, just to relay messages up to like the con, right?
Right.
They just happened to put me in the torpedo room, so I was the torpedo room phone talker for the battle station thing. So whenever we did drills in battle stations, which half the time the torpedo room isn't necessarily doing anything, they might be doing some other battle station using drill somewhere else on the submarine, right? The torpedo room, kind of twiddling your thumbs, and if we're not shooting a torpedo, there's literally nothing to do, right?
Right.
I ended up like reading like the Mark 48 torpedo technical manual, like cover to cover.
I'm a
Right?
sucker for manual. I love manuals. I gotta say, I don't know. I'll get manuals for things I don't even own.
And it's just like, and the technical manuals are like, for us. For a platform, when you're in military things, it's completely different. It's not like, like nowadays they try to dumb everything down, right? But when you're in the military, the technical manuals go all the way down to the component.
Right.
Like they literally will have like, okay, here's the principles of operation of how this particular thing is supposed to work, and here's the schematic, and here's all the pieces, and here's how the whole thing, and it's enough description so that you can just open the manual, read it, and then be able to figure out how to fix it. That's the idea, because you could literally be stuck at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
You got to fix the thing,
And you need to know everything about it. You need the whole rabbit hole for that.
The whole rabbit hole has to be present for you to be able to fix the thing if you really needed to, right?
That's neat.
So I just kind of like love that, that environment. That was the appeal to me.
But look, my wife and kid have to talk me out of like when we're on garbage days. I'm like, "Ooh, look, it's a manual on this," and she's like, "Jane's like, why? We don't even have that." I'm like, "Yeah, but look, it tells you how it works," and it's like, "No, put it down. A dog's already peed on that. Like it's
just
not
a shame. Yeah, it's just a shame that like that's not so much a thing anymore, because everything is kind of a black box now, and you just the thing broke. We'll just throw
that was the whole.
away.
We talked about this. This is the Tech Bandits thing. This is my frustration with Tech Bandits stuff, where it's like, oh, the Xbox. Do you have an Xbox? Yeah, but it's broken. It's like, oh, so you throw it out? Like, no, you don't throw it out. You take it apart and see how it works.
Could be one little component fried in there.
And even if it is, and even if you never get it working again, who cares? Take it apart, see what's inside. Like that's the thing. I should go and say hi to them, because I realize they've been in there for ages, and they've probably declared war on some small country by now, I imagine. Where are they?
You gotta try to get those guys to play like Factorio or something.
There's talk about space something engineers.
Satisfactory, some other
space engineers. It's space engineers. One of the guys. Is it? I'm gonna see if I can find them now. If there's anyone in there. Oh, there's no one in there anyways. No. We lasted so long. Oh no. Okay, that's Baz's server. Never mind. I got the wrong one. Oh no. There you go.
The other Tech Bandits.
Hang on a sec. Are you sure you want to switch? I'm going to switch. Hang on 1 second. So I got to do. Can I just drag you into the? I don't even know how to do this. This is where I get in trouble from.
You need Cal.
This is where the hammer. This is where the hammer comes. Can I drag them into the conversation? Can I drag you into the conversation? How does this work? If I do this, nope. You just moved around the screen really nicely, though. All right, let me see if I can. All right, I may hang up on you. Well,
just drag it around.
I'm just dragging your face around right now. You're being dragged around by the face. All right, I don't know how to do this, so I'll just go and say hi. I'll switch out and say hi. Let me see if they've got anything going, and then do you want me to call you back? What's the best thing to do?
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
No, neither do I. That's what's so funny. Okay, let's see what happens if I do this.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
All right. See, it's always an adventure. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hey, Anthony, how are you? And Wolf Pup.
Good.
Oh man, we've been talking. We've been talking big, lots of talking.
Confused right now. It's because my internet is down, but things
Why?
I've had open I can still use.
Why? Why? So what happened to the internet?
It's down, and I need my dad to reset it. But like, it's really confused right now.
All right, let me see. I'm trying to get him in this chat as well. Is there a way to drag people into a chat? How do you do that? Do you know?
I don't think you can.
Damn it! I knew it wasn't as simple as that. All right, I'll be back. I'll wrap up with him and then I'll come back. All right, hang on.
Wait, no, you can still get him in here. You just have to tell him to join the Tech Bandits live voice in here.
Oh, right, but we're trying to keep that just for people who are like just for kids.
Oh, because he's already in this.
I know he's already in the Bandit friend thing, so I don't know how to do this. All right, I'm gonna switch back. I'm gonna wrap up with him, then I'll come and we'll have a quick chat. All right, here goes. Hello.
Oh.
I'm back. No background. No worries.
I was watching on the Twitch.
All right, good. That's very smart. I thought we'd just wrap up and then I'll find out what the kids are doing, and then we'll go. And I'll do that. But
I think I'm in. I don't know.
I know. I don't think it's we've done this thing which I think is actually very smart, where we've just kept the kids in one zone, and then the adults in another.
Yeah, which is cool.
And part of that was because of because of parental concerns. They're like, well, I don't know if I want my kid talking to people he doesn't know, especially if they know David. Oh, is that you doing the Tesla gardening? Holy crap! Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a cute little stump. That's like nothing. That's like
yeah.
So we had a neighbor who this machine came in, and it was like a massive tree. This machine comes in, and they just put this thing on top of it and clamped it onto the ground, and then they just left for a week, and this thing slowly ground away at this thing until it was completely gone. It was very neat. And you just yanked it out with a freaking Tesla. That's too funny.
Yeah, I just get rid of it.
So, all right.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna wrap up. We will talk again.
I don't know which channel.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Tech Bandit server or Iron Ham and Tech Bandit?
Well, that's it. So I think we're on the Tech Bandit server now. So we've got this that's our special lockdown server. But I can't.
I'm in Tranquility Live.
Oh, where's that? Oh, okay. Here you go. I'll move them into that. That's perfect. I can do that.
Is that so? Should I join that?
Try that. Yeah, join that, and then I'll get them to join us in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't gotta do a bunch of talking. I can just if they want to ask me any tech stuff, I can.
Yes. Well, they're gonna probably want to show you space engineers. Is probably what they're gonna want to do.
I'd be interested.
Right. Here you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Can you guys join me in Tranquility Live? Is that available to you?
Yeah.
Is that chat available? Because then we can have Alan in here as well.
Yeah.
Because Alan wants to hear about. Oh, there you go. Perfect. All right, I'm back. Now, have you got? Wait a sec. What happened to Wolf Pup?
I don't know. He just kind of left.
All right. Okay. I'm just gonna let him know. I'll just tell him that he's in here.
Well, I had to switch over.
There. See, that works, right? All right. So, Alan meet Anthony. Anthony meet Alan.
I've met all of them. I've met them all before.
I don't think you've met Anthony though, have you?
Yeah, I don't think we've met yet.
Oh, maybe not.
Way ahead of yourself.
Also, Wolf Pup computers crash.
Oh no!
Wolf Pup's computer crashed, I assume, because he's no longer online.
Yeah, because that's the only reason why he wouldn't be online, is if his computer crashed. It's true. Well, Anthony, so Malvitano here hasn't. I don't think he's seen Space Engineers.
Oh.
So you may have to show him. You were gonna show me something yesterday.
You guys been playing it?
Let me see if I can pull it up. Discord goodness. There you go. Oh, that's just got the whole chats. Oh, great. Now I'm just broadcasting everything to everyone. I'm so good at this. All right, what do I got? Automatic? No. Match? No, not that. Give me the window. Here we go. Streamlabs desktop? No. Discord? What do I want? I don't know. What the hell do I know? What are we seeing here? Oh! Hello?
That's what you're seeing here.
All right. Thank you very much. Is the son home?
Oh yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he said he didn't join in because he thought you were just chatting because he just saw 2 people.
Ah, well, we were. We're now in. You can tell him we're in Tranquility Live if he wants to join us.
Tranquility Live.
That's the name of our chat. Yeah.
Wow.
You know that as I had planned for all this time, it's actually Alan's birthday today.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
there you go. He's 21 years old.
Happy birthday, Alan.
Yeah.
21, huh?
21 years old.
Awesome.
He's actually allowed to drink now. It's amazing.
To be 21 again.
Okay, that's yeah.
Jane, you've met
Excellent.
Alan and Jane have done this before, I'm sure. Have you not?
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
No.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, it's Jane, Alan Malventano, or Malventano as we call him.
Lovely to
I've
meet
seen
you,
I've
Alan.
seen I've seen
I
Jane
can't
pop
hear anything
in.
you're saying, I'm afraid,
Yes,
'cause
usually
you've
with
got the
delicious
headphones
cups of tea. It's amazing.
on.
Yes,
I
she
did come
feeds
by
you
here.
amazing beverages.
But she only does the
frequently.
amazing beverages just to look good on screen, because the rest of the time I'm the one bringing the amazing beverages.
Yeah, it's true.
Just so you know. It's
He
true.
usually, well,
Do you need me?
I had to make tea myself because he was down here talking instead of.
Do you need
straight
me
to my
for
life.
anything? Are you?
No, I just wanted to,
Do you want me to mute?
for 1 second.
Okay, we're muting for 1 second. This could be good. Let's see what kind of trouble I'm in. Did nobody read any voices and read lips?
Anthony, we gotta read lips. Oh, he's covering his mouth.
What?
I was gonna say we gotta read his lips, but he's covering his mouth.
Oh, okay.
All right. So what is this game? Space exploration. Hold on. Let me
Space
look at this.
engineers. Yeah. It's a very cool game. Basically, it's a game where you build spaceships.
Can you
and
share it, Anthony? I think we can see it if I share it.
Yeah, I will.
Or if you
share
share
my
it.
screen.
We've got Alan in the corner. I see Alan in the corner. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's working out quite well. Look at this. So it wasn't that much of a secret. Actually, it turns out that we've got friends who have this like ski chalet place that they're not going to be using this year because they're going to be away, and they've offered us to use it. And I was like, okay, as long as it's got Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, he's a total nerd too, so he's probably got really good Wi-Fi. I don't care about the skiing. I'll let them ski. But as long as I've got good Wi-Fi, I'm fine. I intend on doing lots of reading this year. That's my holiday resolution. I can't see. Oh, I have to click watch stream. Sorry. My apologies. Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. Okay, there you go. Can you see it?
Alright, so, yeah. So I just have 2 things to showcase. This one is really quick. It's a small modded airplane.
Okay.
Why
can't I
it's
let anybody see
for
this?
this thing I'm setting
look
up
at that.
with.
I'm just opening the
friends.
window a bit more so you can see it more. Ooh, look at that. There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
So
Okay.
it's this airplane that I'm setting up for some friends that I'm playing with. And this is just in what we're doing. So this is just a very simple build for me. I like
That's
it.
pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
What do you base these on? Do you just like make them as you go along? Like you just like sort of just throw them together, or do you have plans in advance type thing?
I just kind of throw them together
I'll throw this in front of
really
that.
quickly.
So just basically just like winging it as you go type thing.
Yeah.
Oops, now there's too much of me now. Wait a sec. Let me get me out of the way.
So can you explore space with a thing that has a prop on the back?
No.
I was gonna say that seems like that wouldn't work very well.
This is obviously this isn't meant for space travel.
Way to go, Alan. Put a hole in the guy's design already.
There's some rockets on there. It says,
It's
probably
dual
got
purpose.
something.
It's dual purpose. It flaps its way up to the higher atmosphere and then it takes off.
I mean, that might be more efficient.
Yeah,
never
there you
know.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
speaking of
he's
which,
playing 4D
did
chess,
anyone?
David, he knows way more than we do.
It's true. It's true.
So
Yeah, sorry.
just let me do this really quickly.
Yeah. Go. Do your tour. Do your tour.
Yeah, I can fly all the way into space with this camera mode. And there's the moon, there's
Who needs the airplane?
I'm going with the sun. Yeah.
and then the sun actually is just part of the skybox, so you can't actually ever go to it.
So it's just there for looks.
It's there so that there's a daylight cycle.
Okay. All right. But there's no actual planet that you can get. There's no like sun that you can burn up in or anything.
Yeah. I've tried. Really.
Of course you have. I have tried to fling myself into the sun, and it has not been successful.
There's Wolf Pup.
Hey, Wolf Pup, is he in our chat now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was going to say, come and join us in Tranquility Live. That's where that's where you want to be now.
All right. So
You sound
now
like
I'm
crap,
gonna-
Wolf Pup. What's going on?
What?
Oh, no, you're better now. It's like, I'm just going to put up your volume a bit. All right, go. Take it away, Anthony. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna currently fly to the main thing I wanted to show you.
Okay. Are those guns on the front?
Yeah.
I feel like you would need the guns, but the real
I feel that you would need the guns, Wolf Pup.
the real question is, why do they have like human-ish guns? Why are there no lasers?
There should be freaking lasers. It's true.
Well, it's because this is only in the year 2079. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I see. We
So
haven't
it's
got the
not
lasers
that
sorted out
in
yet?
the future. Yeah.
Right, okay. I don't know. 70 sounds pretty good.
I just want to say, even in the 70,000, we would have lasers.
I was going to say 70,000. We're going to be all underwater by then, aren't we? Or on fire, one of the two. Okay, where are you headed? Where are you going?
So you see that? I'm gonna turn off my HUD. Actually, I'm gonna turn off just the signals.
I love that HUD is now just part of people's vocabulary. That's what I love. Thanks to Iron Man.
Are the
I think.
guns meant to shoot something?
Yeah. No. Let
Like
me
other-
try. Look at this.
You can actually, they're like space pirates and stuff that you can actually battle. But you
Yeah.
build all your own ships and stuff. It's kind of cool. It's very Factorio.
In this game,
Oh,
I feel
no.
like I would be the person to.
Oh,
Oh, it's on an
Helicarrier. Helicarrier.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's. Let me make a very sharp turn.
Do you
Very.
like? Does it require? I mean, how much physics is there in this? Like, I mean, does it require you to figure out how many like propellers you'll need to keep a freaking giant helicarrier in flight?
Is your
Um,
helicarrier getting shot at?
Yeah, it is. It's getting attacked. Oh, land.
By who? Who's attacking you?
By pirates.
Damn
space
pirates! Damn
How
space
do you
pirates,
shoot-
Alan.
How do you shoot at them? Do you
Yeah.
need something, or can you just go?
Well,
blimp in with an
my
RPG?
turrets here, I've already taken care. Oh wait, there's one.
Are they automatic
Guy.
turrets? Like they'll take them out for you?
Yeah. They're.
Okay.
Oh jeez.
Oh, do you just blow up your own ship?
No, that thing shot at me. There's a lot of stuff shooting at me right now.
Why are there so much things?
Oh
My
attacking
God,
us?
people hate you in this game.
oh jeez.
Damn.
The pirates.
This game, can you play this game with friends? It looks like something.
Oh
you should
yes.
Oh yeah,
you
it's multi.
can.
That's what Anthony's been trying to get us to play for ages.
Yeah, I really want to get into a big world and we all battle.
But once
I-
again, it's yet another game I need to buy and get motion sickness while I'm playing.
I just want to say, touch the propeller.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
I
happens?
keep,
Does
I
it-
keep cringing that I keep cringing he's gonna walk into a prop, but
He's in it.
It's not a thing.
He's in the prop right now.
Yeah.
They should totally add that because that'd be worth their price of admission right there. Just watching people hurling themselves into the prop.
All right.
What? It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do any damage. That's
Yeah. This is a mod, so it's not really fully supported
Oh, okay. All right.
entirely. So they can't just add
I-
like I mean, they probably can.
What's
but-
the mod? Like a helicarrier mod, or
I was expecting you to get hit by it and like go into a ragdoll and die.
yeah, I figured you were going to get flung out into the clouds somewhere, but yeah. Now
I
what?
mean,
You just
there are
died?
ragdolls.
There's ragdoll physics in this.
Yeah.
Oh, there
that was
is.
Ragdoll.
I'm searching
Alright.
this up.
Oh jeez.
If it's less than 10 millicents.
It's like
We were talking about ragdolls on the Salty Nerds the other day. Where we were talking about movies and how like every bad '90s movie has like some bad ragdoll effect where someone gets thrown off a building or something, and it always ends up being like a bad dummy that's arms sort of float weirdly as it falls from the building. In fact, I've done it
gosh.
numerous times. I think.
look at this very safe.
Oh, Salty Nerd
protocols to
Podcast.
repair the
Yeah.
propellers.
Now I
Very
must ask.
Extremely
How-
safe.
This game is called Space
Engineers, right? A lot of people, a lot of Stargate nerds have been telling me that I should be playing this game.
Oh, that's $22.
$22? That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Baz just bought something crappy for like 70 or something. It was like Battlefield
what?
2049 or whatever.
I want to get that game. What does
Well-
he mean? It's crappy.
Well, he says that the reviews were terrible on it.
Yeah, the reviews are terrible.
Wait,
but the
are you just
game-
throwing garbage off your helicarrier?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're part of the problem right here.
Oh, hey, gold.
What?
I found some gold on my.
So okay, so just walk me and Alan through this for a second. If you want to build something, how do you even start? Like, so when you start this game, are you like naked and afraid, like in Ark again, or
No. You start out with this suit on.
this suit?
Hello.
Oh, it's a cool suit. Okay, all right.
Yeah. It's basically, just spacesuit.
Yeah.
Here, let me turn off everything. By pressing X, you can have full rotation flight.
Oh, there you go. There's the motion sickness right there. That's it. I'm done.
You're just doing this for David, aren't you?
I'm done. I'm moving to the smaller screen. Wait a second.
Exactly
I move
when
it to
you
a
did
smaller
that.
screen. There you
I
go.
just want to say exactly when you got that, I got a headache.
Yeah, I was like literally. I'm like instinctively my stomach says, okay, you've been poisoned. I must hurl out
No.
lunch.
I'm fine with that stuff, but it like exactly when I started doing it, my parents just like, no, you're getting a headache now.
Hey, have you moved yet, Wolf Pup? Have you done your big move yet?
No, soon though.
Because have you sold the house?
Yeah, we already have the new one.
And sorry, remind me, you're going to Nova Scotia?
No, New Brunswick.
Ah, damn it! I knew it was one of them. Okay, you're going to New Brunswick. So he's making the move, Alan. He's moving from the big smoke of Ontario to the littler smoke of New Brunswick. So he's going out on the East Coast.
I just want to hope that it's not as developed apparently, so I'm just gonna hope I can see stars. That's all I ask.
Well, you'll be able to see satellites because Elon Musk just
you
threw
should be able-
48. I can see stars in Toronto. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
More than just a few just white stars. I want to be able to see like star stuff.
That's pretty cool. So you're more out in the country then?
Yeah, it's not as built apparently. I haven't been there. of
So there's not as
course.
much light pollution.
Yeah, we're
You're in the
basically
worst
doing-
place for like other than like New York City. Like Ontario's got to suck for that. Like you're in Southern Ontario, right? Isn't that right? Right now?
I'm pretty sure we are northern.
Oh, you're in Northern Ontario? Oh, okay. Well, then you should wait a sec. You should have good. You should be able to see lots of stuff.
Oh, then no, we're definitely in the.
So where are you now then? Okay, give me like a town. Give me a closest town.
Toronto.
Oh, so yeah, okay. If you're anywhere near Toronto, then forget it because we got pollution, we got light pollution, everything. We got it all. You know.
Toronto is.
Does
it's
this look
like-
familiar, Alan? Is this like what it's like trying to work on a submarine?
Okay, can you take fall damage? Okay, I have a few questions about this game. Fall damage, yes
Listen,
or no?
it wasn't as easy to fix a turret on a submarine by
Yeah.
just pointing a cutting torch at it.
And you'd have had lots of friends if you had your rainbow suit on like that too. I imagine. I'm not sure how.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a very.
I like how
It's
he's just-
very tactical. It's
Yeah.
a very tactical
Yes,
suit.
it's camouflage. If
Yeah.
you're on a
Okay,
purple planet.
I have many questions for this game. Pew pew people, or is it just pew pew with cannons? Like, can I get a gun?
Oh, there is.
Oh
guns,
my God! Of
alright.
course, Wolf Pup's first question every time is what kind of guns can I get?
Also, there's a
No.
glitch in the game where if you you can basically dual-wield rocket launchers.
You know that we're talking to someone who used to run a nuclear submarine, right? You know, Alan used to like work on a nuclear submarine with like
Run the
torpedoes
whole
and all
thing.
that stuff, like real torpedoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, just so you know, just thought I'd throw that out there, but you know.
Wait, is this like actual Earth, or is it just like this is like
They
Alan, we are
literally
so
call
obsolete,
this-
just so you know.
They literally call this Earth-like planet.
It's
This is
Earth-like
the
planet.
Earth. Yeah.
Earth-
Anyways,
That's
so
pretty
I'm gonna
amazing. How long did it
go-
take you to make that?
Probably like an hour
Make sure
or
you-
two.
So
That's
you
it?
built the carrier as well?
Make sure you keep
Yeah.
the parking brake on.
Sweet.
If you don't keep it on,
Are there
that-
good? There must be good submarine games, aren't there? There's got to be some good. You'd think there'd be like some kind of like.
Good
Subnautica.
submarine.
Subnautica.
They tend to be more, there's nothing to see.
Right. So you kind of want to be an alien world because then they can at least add monsters and crap.
Yeah, well, no, what I mean, you're in a submarine. There's all there is like looking at screens of where the bad guys are probably at, and it's not
You-
very.
Well, no. The only reason why I asked that is because apparently what's rivaling the newest Battlefield whatever game on Steam is the Farm Simulator. Farming Simulator.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't feel
Wait.
like they are very close competitors. Like
Apparently there's as many people downloading that as there are freaking Battlefield whatever. I've got to admit, I'm slightly curious to that because I kind of like the idea of like driving a combine harvester or something. But I thought they should do that with submarines, right? Get a team together. You have to like run a submarine. You could like that'd be great training too.
There's a
Or
thing that's
should-
close to it, sci-fi wise, but it's not a submarine. It's a spaceship. So there's like a Star Trek game that's like VR where you can do 4-player like multiplayer.
Oh right, yeah. I've seen that. I haven't done it because I get sick of
Yeah.
it.
I think it's just called like Bridge Crew.
I'm
something.
sick just watching the spaceship flying around.
Well,
I
you
would,
know,
Ugh.
I would probably.
I don't know how you do
bomb
this.
things with this. Like,
He's
can
doing
you
loops
just
for you.
attach,
I know.
like, this?
I don't
Let's see,
feel so good.
Steam- We can look this up.
Look it
There's,
up.
like,
Let's check the
Steam game
stats.
Stats and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to check the stats.
Uh,
Indeed.
Let's see
Oh,
here.
jeez. Oh no.
All right.
Rainbow Six is like about 20 down on the list here.
I am actually. Oh, he is dying.
What do you got?
Is
Oh wait, this is multiplayer I'm looking at. You want to know like game downloads?
Top sellers, top game and
sellers.
player statistics. What about that?
Okay, so
No, what am I
Download
talking
stats.
about? There's anywhere near. It's not even on the list. What are they talking about?
well, I don't think it's a multiplayer game, right?
Well, top games by current player count.
I just want to point out that
Hmm.
he is rushing the
About Steam downloads.
pirate with just the gun.
Yeah,
that's-
you have to go to download stats maybe. Although that I don't think that breaks
Even
it down
that's
by
just
game.
no. That's not. Yeah, it's not giving you much either.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I saw somewhere it said that. Well, maybe it was just a. See, there's a problem with false news. I don't see Farming
the other-
Simulator anywhere on this list.
Steam game.
Categories, top sellers. How about that? Oh, there you go. Top sellers. Look at that. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the Valve Index VR kit is like a top seller. I guess because it only has to sell a couple to make a lot of money. So Farming Simulator is right after Destiny 2, which is right after Final Fantasy, what is it, 4? 14? 14? I can't read. 14? Endwalker?
Probably 14.
And Icarus, which I've never even heard of.
Oh, I
Are
know
these
that
all
one.
Canadian? Maybe this is in Canada.
And then I'm looking at the Steam top 250 like game rankings.
Yeah.
It's just like it's steam250.com, I think.
Yeah.
And Euro Truck Simulator is like number 7.
There you go. Steam.
People really like driving their trucks in Europe.
What do you say? Steam top 250?
It's just steam250.com, I think.
250.com.
Seems like a cool website. You can just see all of the games that are like I'm trying to say it would be good for streamers because they can easily just see what's popular and all that.
Well, I
Factorio's
don't.
on there. It's number 6.
What's on there? What number? What?
Factorio is number 6.
Factorio. Oh yeah, Factorio. There's a fantastic. I don't know if she's still doing it, but she was. She's on the Spectrum somehow, but she does these incredibly detailed recreations in Factorio of things like Atlantis, and like she'll do like the train station in a famous painting. And she's meticulous. She's like a math teacher, but because her autism, she's on the autism spectrum somewhere. Her focus is incredible, and her attention to detail is just extraordinary. So I can't remember what her name was. Emily of the Sea or something like that, I believe is her name. Someone in the chat will tell me.
I think
it's
so.
Emily of the Sea.
Emily, yeah.
Yeah.
You rated them a lot.
Yeah, she's amazing. How was paleontologizing yesterday, by the way? We rated them yesterday.
I didn't watch.
Oh,
much,
I'm
but
sorry. It wasn't
but-
Factorio. It was Satisfactory. Thank you, James.
Satisfactory, yeah.
That was it. And we got to do. Oh, James, I had a special request for more Dungeons and Dragons, by the way. So we've got to do. Well, if you're up for it at some point, James, we should do like another Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe Sunday. I suppose we could consider possibly doing that Sunday if you're around. Maybe. I liked it was a bit so late, but I couldn't stay till the end. I see. Okay. Oh, I know what I want to ask about. Does anyone have any news on what's the deal on the 48 satellites that were released? Because
Yeah,
didn't that launch release like 48 new satellites?
Oh, for SpaceX?
Yeah, yesterday's launch was for an extra 48 satellites, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't actually watch the launching of the satellites, which I kind of missed out on. I'll have to check the footage on that because I just think that looks so cool. But we're hoping that it's going to cover Gimpy G now. The Gimpy G is somehow going to be covered by one of the new satellites. I should check and make sure Gimpy's not sitting in the wrong channel or something.
There's the let's see, Starlink satellite tracker.
Oh, they've got. I love the interwebs.
Yeah, there's a
I'd be
live
able to
coverage
tracker
map.
to see those.
Starlight.
It's satellite.map.space.
All right. Satellite. Space. Right.
Yep. I'll show you a real time where they're all at.
See, you don't need to live out in the country. You got the internet. All right. I'd say it would be very cool to see. That is a lot of satellites. Holy
but
moly!
They have some of the new. Notice some of them are going over the poles.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, there's a few, right?
Yeah, I guess there'd be no competition for internet in the North Pole.
Well, except that it's going to end up being a pretty big resource, right? Because it's there's an awful lot of oil up there, right? Like Canada's getting all antsy because people keep sort of going like, "Oh, I think we're going to put our ships here," and they're like, "I think you're not." Right? Because a lot of the Northwest Passage has like melted, so that's it's now sort of a good route for things like subs.
You can drag. Okay, so David, you can drag the globe around,
Yeah.
and you will see the string of them that have not spread out yet.
Oh, that's all the new ones.
Yeah.
Oh, so it takes a little while for them to. I didn't realize that to
Yep.
position themselves.
Yep.
What are
It
these?
takes them several weeks to get to
What
where
are
they
the
wanna be.
green cells? What do they represent?
Actually, I'm not sure.
I should please share this.
Those are the ground stations, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay, all right. Let me see. I wonder if I can actually share this. I think I might be able to. Let's have a look.
Yeah, that makes sense based on where they're at. I think that's the ground stations.
So this is this cool thing that Alan's just got me set up on this satellite map.space. If anyone wants to join us on there. Oh, I've just lost my mouse. That's not a good sign. Oh, this could be me. This could be me. This I may be out.
You've done it now.
Oh man, why did I do
people
that?
track that stuff though? Like how?
What's
how
that?
do they even get the information on the stuff in the space? There's
Like
not
how?
like there's
Sorry, how do they track them?
Yeah.
Well, they probably each have some kind of a tracking system in there, don't they? They must have some. I would say GPS, but would GPS? Yeah, that should. Would that work? No, GPS isn't going to work.
For Starlink?
Yeah.
It has to do other means because, GPS is mostly downward
It's
facing.
from the satellite, right? Yeah. So unless you're on a trajectory below, unless you're lower than the ones above you, I guess.
Well, the Starlink is a low orbit. They're lower than GPS.
Oh,
They're
they
really
are.
low. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So GPS. Well, and I guess GPS is also older too. So they probably didn't even. They probably weren't even planning on using it for half the stuff it's being used for now.
I mean, I just think they probably have more accurate, since they're their own network, they probably have a better idea of where they are in space, and I don't think they have to ask GPS.
But this data, but they're putting the data out as, they're providing this data for people.
They're probably just providing it when they get it.
Well, this is, I mean, yes.
With a
I don't
time
think
delay
they're-
or something, maybe.
Well, I don't think they're providing it real time like this. There's just that, they know that here's where they all are, and here's all the orbits that they're all in, and then this website is just putting that on a globe for you.
That is amazing. Is there a way to see which satellite's which? I mean, can you actually sort of go oh, you can. Oh my God, you can.
Yeah, you can click on one.
Oh my God, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, click on one of the new ones,
Yeah.
and you'll see the altitude history for it. And over the past, so many days, it's been climbing.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, it went from under 300 to up to 349. Is that it? They're only 349. Was it kilometers up or what are they?
Kilometers. Yeah.
Holy moly! That it's not that. So the space station's a little bit. So the space station's above them.
Well, click. Oh, so yeah. So click on some of the other ones, and you'll notice they're all around like 540, 550. So that's where they're trying to get to.
Huh. Well,
But
that's an odd
but if you
altitude.
click-
It's been up and down, up and down, up and down. What the hell's that?
But if you click on one of the ones that's going over the poles, those are lower. Those are like 350.
Yeah, they're really quite. I mean, they don't get that close to the pole, do they? They don't get. Oh no, there are a couple up there. I see. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to add more orbits. Like the orbits of the first batches they launched was to kind of cover.
Oh, those are
most.
456. So that's about like what is the space station's like? Was it 480 or something like that, or 4? It's surprisingly low. I remember at one point there was we had Candy Medusa talking about being on this sailing vessel. Or no, it wasn't actually Candy Medusa. It was an article that I think she pointed me at, which was talking about how there were these women out there looking for plastics in the sea and taking samples. And at one point they were finding plastics in areas in the sea where the nearest people were on the space station. They're in a boat.
ISS orbit is 408.
408. See, there you go. So that's like, God, that's wild. That just seems ridiculously low to me.
Yeah, GPS satellites are 20,000 kilometers.
Right. Yeah, that's okay. So what was do we know what the satellite? Okay, so what was the Russian one that they blew up? Do you know?
Oh,
That'd be kind of neat to see, actually. I wonder what happened on this map when that happened.
oh, there's a different thing that's not the SpaceX satellite tracker thing, but there's a different satellite tracker you can do. What is it?
Let's do another
Trying
one.
to find that.
I just completely
Yeah,
spelled
satellite
satellite wrong, but you know what?
tracker.
Google will make it right for me. Satellite tracker. Here we go.
Satellite tracker. There's like a government agency one that'll show you.
There's one for your phone, but I don't want the phone one because I'd rather
Oh,
not be
yeah.
followed by yet another app.
If you wanna
Real-time
remind,
satellite.
There's the one that's the ESRI.
I've got an
so like
n2yo.com.
Google like. Well, that's another one of them. Google like ESRI satellite.
ESRI satellite map. There you go. Maps we love. There you go. Satellite map.
I just want to say Malvento just disconnected.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he crash?
Oh, did we crash him too?
Probably.
Holy moly, though. Look at this satellite map. This is insane. This is insane. Insane in the membrane. Oh my God, look at that. Those are all satellites around our planet.
Yeah, he crashed.
Did he? He had too much
Yeah.
RAM. Or he
He's
ran
no
out of
longer
RAM.
Online.
Oh man, see, we took him down. He can't handle the tech bandits. Wow. Okay, so what is that satellite right there? What the hell is that? That's a NORAD. It is. I don't even know what
Sorry.
happened. Did you crash?
Computer. Something went weird on the PC there.
Oh, a PC? Says James Gurney. James says you had too much RAM.
I probably did.
Probably did. Yeah.
So did you go to that ESRI thing?
I did. Have I got the wrong page up though? For some reason, this isn't showing the page that I was on. This is showing the old page. Okay, let me see. Chrome. All right, Chrome. Let's go, Chrome.
It is amazing how many dots are out there.
It's insane. It's absolutely. Well, that's not right. What's
Like the Starlink thing is insignificant.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? So okay, why is that one showing but not the other one that I was looking at? I don't understand. No,
What at me?
I don't understand.
There's my Microsoft.
I do not understand what's happened. For some reason, it won't let me bring up that window, which I don't quite understand. Yep, It will not let me bring up that window. That is so weird.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, send me the link. That'd be great. I've got like I have the window on mine. What am I saying? Oh, what's happened to it? Oh, God damn it!
It does take it a minute to like
to load up. Yeah. All right, let's try that again. Let's try that again. All right, so there's this. I see. No, you know what it is? I think it closed. I think it closed up on me. Let me try it again now. I think I should be able to have it. Here we go. Oh no, it's my freaking. I think what the problem is my streamer. My streamer thing's all messed up. This usually happens after I've been. Oh my God, it's almost 3 hours. Holy crap! I told my wife I said it'd be like an hour. I'll talk to Alan for a bit. No wonder she came down with tea. That's her passive aggressiveness. All right, I should.
I sent you the link on the Discord.
Oh, great. Okay, then I can put it in the chat. I should put it in the chat. But where in the Discord? Oh, Alan.
It's the direct message.
Yeah, all right, good. I got it. Copy message link.
See if that opens and hopefully doesn't crash your computer.
It definitely did some weird things the last time I tried it. There you go. I'm putting it in the chat for everybody so they can see it. And now I'm going to try it. And, everyone, good luck. There we go.
The problem is that Chrome was using like 40 gigabytes of memory.
I am so bad about my Chrome.
Yeah, you and me both, brother.
I usually have
I'm
so
really
many
bad
freaking things open that it's insane.
I'm so bad at closing tabs.
Why close them? Why close them when they're right there for? Oh, don't do that for me. No, don't give me that. Oh, it gave me a Discord channel as a link. That's perfect. That's just what I needed. Thanks, Discord. Discord sucks at links, but I guess it's trying to stop you from being hacked, I guess.
You can zoom out on this. I'm looking at this map thing.
No, it's insane how far back. The NORAD, if you see the NORAD ones?
I've seen the NORAD ones, but like this one, like you can zoom out on this, and there's like a few that are in these crazy elliptical orbits.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's different. Oh, mine was looking way different than that. Okay, so it did do something to my computer. Okay, hang on a sec. Let me try this again now. Capture method. Screw that. No, come on.
This is crazy.
This is nuts. I don't understand what's going on. I can't show people. All right. What if I add another one? I'm going to show browser source. Add source. All right, add a source. Yeah, I don't understand why things sometimes work and sometimes don't. I don't understand. Browser source. Nope, that's not what I want. Apparently not. I'm going to make this work. If it kills me. How about window capture? Maybe I'll just do that. Window capture. Add a source. New source. Adding a source. Wait. No, it was there. It was right there.
Oh, by the way, I'm currently showing people what the survival is pretty much like right now.
What is? What survival mode looks like?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Let me just, I'm going to get this.
There you go. That's the page.
That's the page, but now I can't move it around. Okay, hang on a sec.
Oh, look at how many
This is insane. No, that is absolutely freaking nuts. That is nuts.
Like the outer band, I'm assuming is where like GPS hangs out.
What is going on with my little Discord thing here? I think I'm just going to lose that baby right there. All right. I can't, like, no wonder they're worried about freaking debris. Forget the debris. Like, those are, each one of those is a satellite. That is insane. But look at the ones that are way out here. Like, what the hell's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a NORAD one again. NORAD, a CXO, US. Oh no, US.
You gotta pull some Air Force strings thanks to your Stargate stuff and figure out some answers.
Yeah, because that is pretty cool. That's like they must be older satellites, right? So they've been up for 3 million, almost 4 million minutes. Why they couldn't make it days and make it a little bit easier for us, or years maybe? How many? Okay, so how many?
Well, the satellite crap, like they're about to launch that the James Webb.
Oh yeah, that massive.
That launch?
Look how fast that one on the outside's going. What's that doing? You see that one on the far right? There's one on the far right that is moving at like crazy
Moving.
speed. Crazy speeds.
Like you can actually see it moving on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's got to be moving incredibly fast, right? The Tintin B.
Is that a satellite or is it, no? That might be like a micrometeorite that's caught in our orbit.
It's called a Tintin B, apparently, whatever that is. Oh, now I've lost it. I lost the planet. I'm lost in space right now. Never mind. Or it's just something wrong with my...
Some of these might not be satellites. Some of these might be like just objects being tracked. Oh no, well it says satellite.
Well, look at this crazy one that's come swinging around the planet every so often in a kind of a weird elliptical orbit. It's the Titan SC Trans-Stage R&B. Is there no information about these things?
Well, you can Google.
Let's see.
I mean, Google it.
This is an Air Force test range. This is a rocket body. What does that mean?
Oh, so they're tracking it. It's probably like was like a launch, not meant to be a satellite. Like I don't think it's smart. I think it's just a thing.
So it's just
orbiting.
floating around. That would make sense, though, why it's such got this really weird elliptical orbit that brings it really close to Earth and then swings it way out.
I just found it.
Isn't that wild?
Trucking. I mean, that's going so fast. How is it even going that fast?
This is where in a movie you'd have like, wait a second, I'm tracking it now. It's going faster. It's off the screen.
No, what I don't understand is like, because of the way orbits work, like, as you go further out, the orbit is slower. Usually, because like if you go too fast, you'll escape the orbit.
Right.
You'll just keep going straight.
Are these supposed to be? I mean, they're all in orbit, right? You're seeing the orbit when you click on all of them, right? Like, so it's not like they aren't things that are escaping. I want that one there. What's that?
You want that one?
The NORAD. What's the links on that one? They just keep sending me to the same site. Track it now.
Tintin A and B microsats. Oh, yeah. There's a page on that.
Oh, there you go. X-ray astronomy. That's what one of the ones way out there is doing.
Two identical. Okay, so A and B, two identical satellites.
Is that the M3 one? The M3 and the...
Tintin A and B were... dude, SpaceX Falcon 9 launched Tintin B.
Wow.
How the heck did it get it that far out?
Wow.
It must have...
What's the point of it, though? Like, why is it... What's it going to be able to do from there?
The date is 2018, so that was like one of the first... like Falcon 9 launches, wasn't it?
Do you think maybe there was like, could some of these, like, are these orbits decaying, do you think? Like maybe like as they get, because those are just weird orbits. I can't imagine why you would put anything up in an orbit like that. But then again, it's rocket science.
There's links for each one.
Yeah, at the bottom. You can click on them. I thought they were all the same place, but they actually, each one takes you to a different. And then NASA, you can actually have NASA links on them as well. I want to see what NASA has to say about that one.
Well, here's the other thing I found when I just Googled the like Tintin B thing.
Oh, it's an X-ray observatory. There you go. They've even got a picture of it. It's the Cassandra, or the Chandra.
Well, yeah. Like, huh?
Okay, this is possibly the coolest thing I've seen on the internet in a long time. This is why we have Alan join us once every 16 years, or 21 years. Yeah. I love this weird. There's sort of almost like a ribbon around the planet, isn't there? You can sort of see where there's like many more satellites.
It's easier to put something in those orbits.
Yeah.
Because of the Earth spinning. Right.
But,
like it's harder to put something in an orbit that's going around, vertically.
Well, here's the next question: do they have this for the ocean? Like, can we track the things happening in our ocean? I mean, can we see like the number of ships in an ocean, number of subs, or any of that kind of stuff?
Well, you're not going to get subs, but the ships on the ocean are all like, that's public.
That is public.
Trackers for that. Yeah.
All right, but underneath it doesn't count.
Well, nobody's going to say.
Well, no, but then I'm surprised. That they're saying what I'm saying is I'm surprised they're saying for satellites then, right? I mean, these are
for satellites. I mean, it's you can see them if you got a good enough telescope.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah. Although unless they're painted a special color or whatever, didn't they? Aren't they talking about
yeah.
they've just painted? They're going to paint all the new Starlink, so there's not a so that the I don't know, so people
so
don't,
so reflective.
so
Yeah.
the astronomers aren't so pissed off.
Well, and yeah, because I mean it is pretty it's kind of annoying. Although I will say that most people that are doing like astrophotography and like doing it seriously, they're doing stacked photos, which is where you take a bunch of pictures and you merge them, you sort
Right.
of layer them all on top
Right,
of
right,
each
because
other.
you'll never get the right. You'll never the dynamic range on that has got to be insane.
Yeah, so like that's. I mean, I've seen people raise a stink about the Starlink stuff, but I kind of do a little bit of an eye roll because I've done that kind of photography, and like you would totally not see the Starlinks in the end result.
So what were you doing with it? What were you using for that? Like, was this digital photography at the time, or
Yeah, I was just doing like I've got some like eclipse photos and like moon pictures I've taken just
Right.
like camera, not even telescope, just with camera because it's big enough.
right, right?
But yeah, I mean, you take a bunch of those pictures and you pass it through a program that stacks them to try to get a higher effective like quality, like resolution of the picture.
Well, that's what
If
the
you take a
iPhone's
bunch of
doing now.
pictures-
Yeah, the iPhone's doing that now, anyways.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, the iPhone does that. Like this is the old school like long way around method of doing that.
Right.
You can do that like with your own with just a regular camera, right? And then you
take a
put it
ton
through
of
a program
shots,
and,
different
take a ton of shots,
exposures.
and you can end up with like quadruple or more like the effective resolution of the picture. So you can with a camera that had no business getting that good of a picture, like you can get a pretty darn good moon picture.
Someone just
if it's
did
like
one of the sun that was beautiful, where you could actually see one of the projections coming off or projectiles coming out of the sun. It was really cool, and he'd done it again, same thing with this sort of high dynamic range thing.
Well, there was a what was that eclipse that happened? There was a solar eclipse that happened like a few years back that went across the U.S.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah. We had it
I
here.
ended up-
Yeah,
Yeah, and I drove a few hours south to be in in the band,
right.
like in the band of where the actual like shade was going to be.
Right.
I forget the exact term for.
I'm sure there is
that.
one. Someone in the chat will find it. You wait.
Well, no. Here we go. Look at your message. So I took that with my camera.
Ooh,
That's-
beautiful. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So now for that picture, you can get away with like you don't have to stack pictures for that. You just take like a good long exposure picture.
Right.
Right.
Let me see if I can share that. See if people can see that. Oh, you can. You can just sort of see it in the background. Oh, that's cool. I think I can. Nope. Damn it. Wrong thing. Is that it? Nope. Damn it. Too many things to click. You could sort of see it in the background.
Yeah, because you were just sharing your browser only, right?
Yeah, I think I have a Discord in there somewhere, but I can't remember which. Let's see if I do this. There you go. Okay, that's it. All right. And then I also had a different browser window. I think I can share it with a different browser window. Let's see if this works. Just have a look and see. Oh, there you go. So now you can sort of see it.
Yeah.
You can see what he's up to. If I do that, will people see it better? Does that show up better?
Yeah, you should
yes.
be able to-
Look at that. That's not bad. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
God, it looks like an eye, doesn't it?
It was pretty surreal.
It's we looked at them through. We were doing like that reflection thing, where you shine it onto a piece of paper or something, so that you could see it without actually looking through the telescope.
Yeah.
And it worked
really-
out pretty good.
If you ever get the chance, like if there's an eclipse and you can be in the zone, like where you can watch it like that, like I would recommend traveling.
But is that the moon?
Yeah, that's the moon.
Holy
during an
crap.
opposite eclipse. That was an eclipse the other way around.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
That's where you're looking at the atmosphere. The sun is turning red because of the
Yeah.
Earth's atmosphere as it hits the moon. Yeah.
And what are you using? What kind of a camera are you using for that?
So the funny thing is, both of those pictures, it's more apparent side by side. Those two pictures are the same exact zoom. So the moon, notice how the moon is smaller in the one
Yeah.
than it is blocking the sun. Like the moon blocking the sun is larger,
Yeah.
right? Because the moon was closer
Huh.
during the eclipse.
That's interesting.
So the camera I use, I don't know if it's gonna.
Is it like a fancy camera, or is it?
it's that you're gonna laugh. You're really gonna laugh. Hold on, let me go to the tranquility last thing. Where the heck is this stupid?
I've given up on cameras. I just use the iPhone now. Because the best camera I find is the one that I happen to have in my pocket at the time, which is always, of course,
Well, I don't even know if you can see my thing somewhere on your computer screen.
somewhere.
Go back to the Tech Bandits.
Look at that. I've still got. That's good. Sorry, I've got Anthony's still streaming. He's doing some kind of mining now.
Oh, how do you open up the other? Do you got the other pictures down the side or something?
Well, I had them.
Anthony's mining.
I opened yours just in your own window, and I think that's what was the best way to.
So you can. So I'm showing you.
Oh yeah, now I can show you. Okay, wait a second. I can do this. Watch this. There you go. Done. Oh, an old Sony.
Well, it's kind of new, but the zoom is a little bit insane.
Holy moly! Okay, no, sorry. It looked like an old DSLR, but it's like
It's not even. You can't even change the lens out on this. The lens is built in.
That's the built-in lens.
The built-in lens. Who needs to change the lens when it does that?
When it does everything. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's what you took the shots with?
That's what I took the shots with. Yeah, I just put it on a tripod, took the pictures.
Oh my God, that's cool.
600 millimeters, all built into one camera.
And so you took multiple shots, and were you using some kind of a trigger thing, so you didn't get a bump, or what were you doing?
So since I was on a tripod, and since it was bright enough for both of those pictures, for the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipses, I didn't do any stacking for either one of those. That's just straight from. It's literally one picture, like click,
really,
take the picture. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's
Yeah,
impressive.
it was so funny. I just had and before. Well, the reason I say to travel, if you can, to go see a solar eclipse, is because it's the craziest thing. Like, it's the middle of the day and the sun's out and it's bright, and then all of a sudden, you can, especially if you're out where it's out in the
see it
open,
coming.
you can literally see it coming. You can see the shadow coming, right?
Yeah.
But the really crazy thing is that we're used to the sun sort of scattering everywhere, and if you're outside in the middle of the day, there's not there's not this harsh shadow as if you were shining a flashlight at something, and then there's just
right
the shadow on there.
Right.
So
it diffuses it enough.
Usually it gets diffused, but if the sun is peeking out around the edge of the moon, and you're outside and there's just a tree. And usually the sun kind of comes through the tree leaves or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, the sun, I'd have to find the picture of it, but you could watch the eclipse backwards happening on the shadows on the ground between the leaves of the tree. There was 1,000 little eclipses.
Oh wow.
Painted on the ground because the sun
Of
was just
course.
this very, this one point source in the sky shining through. It was the craziest thing.
It is. There's something really weird about
it. There's 1,000 little eclipses on the ground.
It's there's something sort of almost primal about it, where you just get this kind of it just feels wrong. It feels like the birds stop singing. It feels like everything goes off.
No, speaking of that, the sound that happens at night when you're out, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That started up.
Oh right, because they're all ready to go. Woohoo! Nighttime.
Day. We had a good 20 minutes worth of crickets and just the background nighttime noise happening.
That's wild.
It was so crazy.
That's very cool. Yeah, we love to.
It really is.
One of the things I've always wanted to do is get up and see the Aurora Borealis, because I saw a touch of it once when I was driving in Quebec, basically in a snowstorm, but there was just a touch of it in the sky, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And then we got where we were going, and everyone's like, I was like, has there been some kind of, was there an accident or something? And they're like, no, it's that greeny blue light was in fact, we're actually seeing the Aurora Borealis, which is kind of neat. And I want to go and see that. I want to see it dancing in the sky. I want to see that. Yeah, I just think that'd be just beautiful. My parents have done cruises. I don't think I'm going to ever be on a cruise again since the pandemic. But they do these. They've been doing these cruises like up to the North Pole or whatever it is, or South Pole. I can't remember which one of the two they went to. Did they have penguins? I can't remember. But they would talk about just how spectacular the sky was around them. It was just, that it's true. The sky. I'm kind of with you on that, Wolf Pup. I think it would be nice to live somewhere where you could really see the sky. Like when we're in Greenfields, when we're in England, where my wife has a place, that the sky's there. I could just lie out in the grass and watch that forever. It's just amazing, absolutely incredible.
There's we see it come across over here. You're more likely to be close enough to it though. Like we see it on the news here sometimes where they're like, oh yeah, you're supposed to be able to see, some events happening, and you're like some solar event is happening. You're supposed to be able to see the aurora like further south.
Yeah, it's hard. It's it's supposed to. There's been times when I've heard about that, but Toronto, the light pollution is so bad.
Light pollution.
You almost. I mean, I'll get up at night, like sometimes during the meteor showers, because we've got like a patio on the top floor, which no one ever goes out on. It's like, as I call it, the raccoon's bathroom. Where all the raccoons take a dump for some reason. I don't know why. But did you know that Windex scares away? Spray a little Windex around, scares away the raccoons. Anyways, they hate the smell. It's like ammonia. So I'd go out there and lie amongst the raccoon poo and look up at the meteor showers. That was kind of cool. But
where I'm at in northern Kentucky, we're like high enough and sort of away from the coast enough to where, I mean, yes, there's still a city nearby, but the light pollution isn't that bad.
Right.
It's clean enough. Like the sky is clear enough to where, I'll be walking into the house at night and like Saturn is like plain as day. Like Saturn and Jupiter, like you can actually pick them out.
Although to be fair,
there they are.
I've seen them in Toronto. From Toronto, I've been able to pick out. I mean, you can get Mars. Mars is pretty.
Jupiter's pretty dang bright. And
Jupiter's
big,
insane.
So, yeah.
There's another one that we see. Yeah, it's Jupiter and Venus. Is that right? Jupiter and Venus is the two that I would see out here for the most part. I think.
And the other night, I wasn't expecting it, and I was just kind of like walking in the house, and like off the corner of my eye, I saw, and it was literally like just those trackers we were just looking at. Like I just saw something just trucking.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
I was like, what the heck is that?
Space station.
It was the ISS.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because I keep an app on my phone that like overlays everything.
That's it. I used to get notifications, except it would wake me up at night every night. So I was like, okay, screw this. I'm done. I'm done with the space station now. In fact, you know what? It is after 5, and I'm going to make a move. I'm going to, as much as this birthday celebration has been wonderful, I'm going to make a move into the real world for a bit, because I got to go take pizza orders, because tonight is pizza and movie night.
So if you before you send that envelope, slip a coin in there.
That damn right. That's what I was thinking. It's been perfectly planned out. Well, actually, no, I should ask you about this, What about, like, let's say, is it worth tying them to an NFT, do you think?
I mean, it's all, you're just doing it for the exercise anyway.
I thought I could use, like, Phantom or, I don't know, or Avalanche or one of these ones that are not, like, crazy expensive. Like, I don't really want to use Ethereum because I feel like Ethereum, it's going to cost money and it's going to cost people money. And I just wanted something that would be for fun, that on the off chance it did well, that it could pay for, like, like dinner one day for someone in college or something. I don't know. Or college if it does very well. But
if it even, don't count on it doing anything other than just, I know this coin is tied to a thing that's...
Well, and that's it. And just to say, like, I've got one of the first 200 Tech Bandits coins that were ever made. And then if people want them, and I'm really bad because I'm giving them away. Jane's like, you paid for those, right? I was like, yeah. But
hold on. Did I ever send you?
You did. You a coin? You did. It's freaking awesome. It's one of the reasons why I made the Tech Bandits coins. Was you and John Raymond's. There was the Raymond's Capital coin, which is my friend John, who basically funded Braun Studios into existence, like, the Joker and all these movies. Lovely guy who I met on the Stargate set. He'd paid to have lunch with people, and apparently I was the only person who likes lunch. So we sat around geeking out together and we talked. But anyways, and then you sent me your challenge coin. It was I can't remember what it was for now. I've got it
for the submarine.
Yeah.
It was for the USS Nebraska. Like, we had a reunion, like a crew reunion, and I think those were the coins we got made up for it. And
I think I may have already put it in my keepsakes box, but
probably did.
but I should.
It's okay. It's okay. We've got another pair of.
Oh, that's right. I've got that. Oh yeah. That's over here. Where'd I put it? God damn it!
Our Stargate,
Yeah,
our
it is,
makeshift.
Which is
makeshift,
actually
Stargate irises.
which is surprisingly sharp, I might add. Have you noticed that? That iris has actually got a real edge to it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's getting real thin.
Where did I put it? Oh, God damn, I can't find anything right now.
You already lost it. You're pulling a Rodney, man.
I'm totally pulling a Rodney. It's so true. Come on. Oh, you know what? I know where it is. It's actually in the other room with the CNC because I was actually looking at making circles. So I was pretending to measure things.
I told you it would come in handy.
It's actually been great. I've used it on a few things, including for drawing when you want to have things a certain head height. I do a consistent head height all the way down, then you can draw like a 7 head high body or whatever. So
yeah, and I like that it's graduated and it's got the little marker on the edge, and you can go, yep, I'm doing a 4-centimeter circle.
I like that you have to keep the stand with it because the stand is also a part of the measuring process as well. You can use it for measuring stuff.
Yeah.
But what was the thing? I'll tell you the other purchase that I've just made. If you don't have one,
that stupid stand almost made it so that I couldn't send you that thing.
Oh, right, because of the wood, because it was a wood product.
Wood. Yeah.
God forbid you should send a piece of wood across the border, because my God, what could you think? Something could be living in there.
Clearly, this was. Oh, no, I already dropped it. This was going to be the end of civilization.
That was it. That could be it. What if there was like a weevil or something in there? No, but the best purchase that I've made recently, I have so much fun with it, is the laser measuring tape. So instead of oh my God, I use it for everything. Like, poor Baz is trying to sleep, but I'm like, you're 3 feet away from me. He's like, Dad, I'm trying to sleep. You know, like it's just like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. And like the accuracy is insane.
Oh yeah.
Like I was measuring, I want to do a floor plan in Blender of the whole space so I could figure out where to put things. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to give it to the Tech Bandits so they could start like moving furniture and stuff around and see what the best configuration is for this thing. Although I'm honestly thinking about renting a space. Because I realize I don't have enough space with COVID protocols for people to be together. Like we need a space where there can be enough, like where there needs to be good air. And I mean, I suppose
so crazy?
You could do the garage.
That thing's accurate, like to the millimeter, if you have the one that I'm thinking of. Right?
It's a Bosch one. I went with a Bosch because I don't know, I just like Bosch. It sounds cool.
You know what's so crazy about that? Do you know how it's actually doing the measurement?
No.
Like, there's technology in there that is a precise enough timer that it's counting like the speed of light.
but so it's how long is it bouncing back off? Is it reflecting? I was assuming it was reflecting and getting some kind of
laser. There's a laser emitter that's painting on the wall, and then if you look at the front of the thing, it's got a lens on it that's focused on the same place that it's pointing. So it just turns off and on the laser beam and sees how long, like, okay, there was a pulse of a laser, it went, and how long did it take for me to see it again? And it's able to.
Crap.
It's that fast of a timer.
Now I want to take it apart.
Okay. Well, it's not much to look at on the inside. It's just an emitter and there's just like a chip.
That's very cool. It makes sense though because that's what they're using. I know with the laser, they're using that for laser distancing in some of the autonomous vehicles, right? It's like
laser rangefinders and stuff. Yeah.
It's not laser though, is it? It's lidar. Is that right? No, it is laser. Is that lasers? The lidar stuff?
LiDAR is doing the same thing but across like a whole sweep. Like painting a picture.
Oh, I got into a whole argument, by the way, with my dad about that recently, where he was talking about like, no, was it my dad? Maybe it was someone else. He was talking about the fact that we were talking about the cars, safety in the cars. And I was saying, look, here's the deal. Like I've seen footage of like a 4-lane highway waiting for a light to change. And all of the cars move except the Tesla. And the Tesla doesn't move because its LiDAR or whatever has picked up a cyclist that they think might not stop in time for the intersection, and sure enough,
Tesla is anti-lidar. They're just using cameras.
Well, then all right, then it's not Tesla. Then Tesla sucks.
But in some ways, yeah. Like there's because they have a staunch like I don't want to do lidar. I get the reasoning because that module is pretty expensive.
Right.
Like to equip a car with a lidar is like.
But it just makes so much more sense to me. The idea of like being able to plan ahead, which is more than any of us can do, right? How is it?
But so you got to be careful because if it's super foggy, lidar doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Radar does.
Right. Right.
Which is comical because the new Teslas that they're shipping now, they stopped putting radars in them.
Oh, really?
So now they only go off the camera. Yeah, the Model 3, like the cheaper Teslas, they don't use radar anymore. Like
So they just want to use cameras. They want to like standardize on cameras and leave it at that.
Yeah, they want it to be, well, if you think about it, when you drive, do you have radar? Like you just have your eyeballs.
No,
right?
but I
So
want. That's the reason why I'd want a big advanced cars. That I want. I want all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Although
What about the Rivian? Have
don't
you
know.
seen that? Have you looked at that at all?
Rivian? Yeah.
Rivian?
Yeah,
You got to
I mean,
be.
there's-
You tempted by that at all?
if I needed a truck, yeah.
No,
Actually.
no
'cause
one.
it's
No
a-
one needs
it's
a
pretty
truck.
good-
Does anyone really
it's
need a
pretty-
truck?
Dude, I bought a server rack not too long ago for the hard drives in the
That ain't-
basement and all the things, and I had to go and
Oh.
rent the hardware store truck. just to go
Sold.
Pick up. You know.
Rivian. And you can bring a kitchen with you. It's got a kitchen built in. Or the Cybertruck. What about that?
That's pretty cool. I just don't know when they're gonna ship the dang thing.
Yeah, that sounds a bit like that's like vaporware. It sounds like it's. I'm not sure if that's ever going to
I
happen.
think they'll do it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got.
I would
decent
buy one in a
track
second.
record.
I think they're like the
They're gonna
coolest
do
thing
it.
ever. But my son keeps saying that we're going to buy a Tesla, and I'm like, dude, I can't even afford the dog right now. Like I'm not going to buy a freaking Tesla. I gotta
And so, let's. This is a question I'm sure some people are curious about, and maybe don't ask, but. Make this into the not actually using numbers thing as much as practical that you can. But I was just curious about this. I've been meaning to ask you this for quite some time, actually. So, okay, actors do a thing, make some amount of money.
We get paid quite well when we're working. Yeah.
Yeah, but in like some relatively large chunk, but it's a thing that is few and far between.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so-
can be.
But generally, like, what do you guys do? Do you like, okay, so you get this big chunk. Do you like invest it? Do you like, how do you spread it out into something that's more akin to a regular paycheck?
Okay, so if you ask most actors, they'd go like, woohoo, I'm working, and they'd spend everything. That's generally how it works. Like there are a number of people who I've worked with on pilots, like where we've shot pilots and stuff, where I've sort of gone, dude, like this is just one episode right now. Yes, it could be a show that lasts forever, but this is right now one episode, and they're buying freaking like Cadillac Escalades, and they're like all their new clothes and the stereos, and the reality is, if I wasn't married to Jane, I probably would have done exactly the same thing, because I sucked with money. But Jane, so what Jane did was basically she let me invest some money, which was, instead of spending it, we invested some money, and we did quite well with that. One of them actually was Netflix, of all things. I invested some Stargate money in Netflix because they were delivering DVDs to the point, and we just couldn't. There was nowhere else like it. There was a Canadian version that we tried for a while, and they just sucked. They just because it was that sort of like, the Canada customer service is kind of like, oh, it doesn't work. Well, you probably broke it. Whereas like Netflix was like, what? It's not working? We'll get you another one right away. Like, it was just, they were amazing. Anyway, so I was renting like 9 movies a week in DVD format from there. And I heard the guy talk, and he said everyone underestimates the bandwidth of a delivery truck. And I was like, oh my God, like everyone's working on these freaking downloading things. It's not there yet.
In computer terms, it's called SneakerNet.
SneakerNet, yeah, it's the sneaker. Oh my God, it's the SneakerNet. Like, instead of you'd grab a disk, a floppy, and you'd run it around the office, and there's your SneakerNet. Instead of having
If
an
I
actually
needed to bring you a bunch of movies, I stick them on a drive, stick it in my pocket, and I'd go to Canada.
That's it, exactly. Right? So that's and so that was the equivalent. And I just thought that was a really smart idea, and I invested not even that much money in it. And I have a policy that whenever, if and it doesn't happen often, if an investment becomes worth 100%, if I make basically, if every time I make 100% of the value, every time I double the money, good way of putting it, every time I double the money, I cash out of the doubled part, and I maintain that original amount, and that means you don't earn as much.
That's even more smart. Because you're selling half, you're keeping half.
Right. So again, if I'd kept all of it in there the whole time, I would be talking to you from a palace of gold. But I didn't.
You and I are more on the same wavelength than you might think, because like 3-4 days ago, I sold half of all my crypto.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
I
because
felt like
you'd made your
like it was.
yeah.
I felt like it was high enough.
I don't need
know,
to make
like-
a killing. I just want to make a living. That's really I'm completely fine with that. I don't feel like there was a time that that money was a big thing, and now it's like, you know what? We've invested all of our money in basically the house. Almost entirely our biggest investments are the house. When Jane's dad died, we didn't sell the house that he lived in because we felt that that's somewhere we'd probably end up.
Property.
And so basically it's property and a few sort of investments. But I know a lot of people, Aquaman included, who were really broke after Stargate. And I was like, how are you broke? You just did like 5 years of a television series, and there's conventions, there's all sorts of, how are you broke? I don't understand. But people can spend, I think you can spend $1,000 as easily as you can spend $1. Like, I think you can find a way to spend money if you want to,
But how? So how was that work? So, say they had you on Stargate the first, couple of times or whatever, right? And then I imagine for them, you're like, well, I don't know if they're gonna have me back or whatever, right?
Yeah, so you get paid,
And then
you get paid for a couple of episodes, and then the supposed gold mine is when you actually get like a regular on a show that's on a regular show. But the other thing is you don't have any, like in my case, there was no time to spend that money, right? Because you're just working all the time. But
then when they did that, was that like, okay, here's this contract, poof, here's a big check?
Yes,
or whatever,
that's
for the
basically
season or something?
so you basically get paid per episode is the way it goes. And I've actually avoided that a lot because the reality is they own you. Like, there's nothing you have to, like, excuse me, Stargate, do you mind if I, it's like you have to, they own you for that time. And every year you can renegotiate and stuff if you're willing to walk away, basically. But for the most part, you've signed a deal and you're there for however many years the show goes for, and every year there's a little bump or whatever. And then the same. Then for C this year, the last year, I did a couple of episodes for C, and then they said they wanted me to go to regular, and so they made a deal for the entire season.
Yeah.
And basically that's it. So I was owned by them until that contract's over, and then we'll see what happens next. But and then but mainly it's
interesting
just
dynamic. Like in the Navy,
it's just freelancing, really.
In the field that I was in the Navy, like the military pay is kind of peanuts generally. But like if you did one of those jobs, like run the reactor or some highly technical thing, like they would do these re-enlistment bonuses, which is kind of a roundabout way, the same way as like, if you agreed to stay in the military for another 4 years.
They signed you for another season. That's it. Yeah, same thing.
Basically sign you for a season, except a season is like 4 or 6 years long, right? And then they would give you some upfront, let's see, what was like the highest bonus?
So you get like a bonus, and then you'd go back to the regular rates, or would you get an increased rate?
You're still making your regular paycheck. That doesn't change. But again, it's like you're talking like, almost poverty. Like if you're just starting out in the military, it's not a lot of money.
But that's the funny thing that people forget about acting, right? Is that acting's not regular work. Like there are some people, yes, there are some people like the Hasselhoffs and who have just worked nonstop on TV shows and will continue to until the rest, like Bones and all those. I mean, not Bones, but God, what am I thinking? Like NCIS, all that kind of stuff, where people are just working all the time. That is ridiculously huge. That's why they're living in giant palaces and all this, But for the rest of us, if you think about the amount of time you spend acting and auditioning and trying to meet people and do all that networking stuff when you first start out, I hate to think what my hourly rate is in reality compared to what I'm actually getting paid for the show. You know what I mean? Like if I amortize that out, even just a crappy income for that entire time that I've been acting since I was 16, right? I've been out on my own since I was 17. So I've been earning a living acting since I was 17 years old. And
probably all sort of spreads out to just like a regular job.
To probably close to minimum wage. Right. It's probably minimum wage. But that's the other thing is you don't go into acting because acting's not a job. Acting is you love it. That's why you do it.
So we had the same kind of stuff that like you saw, where people would go and buy some really fancy car or whatever, right?
Right.
Right off the bat, right at the beginning. Like you would have the guys in the Navy where they would re-enlist, add the 4 years, and then they'd come back to work the next day with the Corvette.
Right. And you're like, well, there goes that bonus. Yeah.
Well, I know where that bonus went, right?
Yeah.
And, meanwhile, like, when I did it, I like invested it in like down payment on a house or something. And
Yeah, look, my dad sort of put the fear of God into me on that, where he's basically like, he said, if everything goes wrong, like if the markets melt down, if the planet explodes, well, maybe not if the planet explodes, but if the financial planet explodes, you still have a roof over your head. I mean, that's the difference between, you could have, I'm invested in real estate in a ETF or something. That's all very good and well, but you can't shelter and live in an ETF. You need an actual house. So, so that's always been very sort of, it's always been very sort of important to me. There was a period of time where I sold the first house I ever had when I earlier years before pre-Stargate, and moved down to the States and was living as a renter for years. And I remember at a certain point when there was like $60 in my bank account, I'm like, oh my God, I had a house. I was in the market, and I'm now down to $60. But it's amazing how fast you can, fritter away the money that you're putting into a house. So fritter it into a house. That's what I say. The house just makes more sense to me. And plus, I know if something happens to me, my kid still has a bedroom to sleep in, and my wife still has a house to work out of or whatever. I mean, it's perfect. Yeah. But
smart moves, man. Like
that's Jane. But that's Jane. Honestly, if I had, look, if my dad hadn't kicked me out at 17, I'd probably be living in his basement with a pretty nice Camaro right now and a really nice stereo. Those would be my priorities. Would have been like a big screen TV.
You'd be living in your Rivian. Thank goodness it has a.
That's it. Luckily, it has a kitchen, though I have no idea how you're supposed to wash it. I don't know how you're supposed to clean it. Because does it have water?
I don't. Well, you got a big truck bed. You could put some gallons of water in there or whatever.
I know, but that's going to look ugly. That's going to mess with the streamlined look of the whole thing.
You're supposed to be camping with it and out next to streams and whatever. And
I would consider an electric pickup only because of my garbage, my geek trash. Because there are so many times I'll go buy things and go like, that's really good wood. Like I could take the top off that counter, and then you'd have a really nice solid piece of wood that I could use in the CNC or something. And I don't have a truck, so
you would have no room in your house.
Well, then we'll get into the whole hoarder thing lately. I'm going to become the worst hoarder ever. Like I was laughing at my father-in-law because like he had 100 containers of odd screws and stuff. Well, I just counted how many I have. And I'm getting pretty freaking close.
You're getting there?
I'm getting there. Uh-huh. So, and I was like, God, what is this guy's problem? I mean, just throw the screw out. Can't do it.
You never know when you're going to need the screw.
Well, you don't. It's true. You don't. All right, get out of here. I gotta go. Happy birthday. Are you going to do anything for tonight? Are you going to go like party or anything? Or what's your...
My wife is out of town. I believe my mother-in-law is taking me out to dinner.
You're getting taken out by your mother-in-law. Oh, that's not good. Well, that's very good. Very good.
The only one I got left, brother. My parents are gone, and all I got left is the mother-in-law.
That's your family. That's it. But you get along with your mother-in-law, obviously.
That's it. Oh yeah. Well, we moved. She was living in Texas still, and we moved her up recently a couple of years ago because she started to get to the point where she needs like knee surgery and stuff, and we just you got to be close. So we moved her in across the cul-de-sac. So
oh no, that's great. Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? Like
I don't know, just some probably Olive Garden or something, just something silly.
I'll tell you, recently, I don't know what they're like as restaurants because the one here is like a fast food joint. But I recently had this Mary Brown's fried chicken thing. Oh my God, I'm like my mouth is water. It's just like this. It's like this. Apparently, it's like Louisiana style or something. But it's just fried. It's like some cheesy, like it's like Popeyes, basically. Yeah. But it's but that was my son introduced me to it, and I was like, don't you understand? You've killed me. Like I'm like. This is all I'm going to eat forever now. Every time I walk past a Mary Brown's chicken place, I'm going to be like in there getting their spicy fries and stuff. So,
I know we got to go, but just in case anybody was curious, Anthony, while we've been chatting here, has apparently built like an entire Mars rover. I don't know what the heck.
Shut up! Seriously?
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Really? What's that?
Look at that thing.
Oh my God! Oh, that's epic.
Yeah.
He's just cranking out like space vehicles and stuff.
This is like the one man NASA right here. What, was that a poop in there?
Picking up rocks.
It's
I think those are rocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rocks.
I was like, there's an animal that's taking a poop in your mind, I think.
I mean, this planet has like no life on it except plants. I'm pretty sure.
Hey, you can get pretty far with plants. Get a little, what is it, the whip grass and turn it into a biodiesel?
All right, David. I'm gonna go so I don't piss off my mother-in-law.
All right.
Don't piss
Say
off
hi to
my-
mother-in-law. Happy birthday, and we shall do this again much sooner than the last time we did it.
All right, send me that thing so I can put it on the shelf behind me.
Oh,
See
yes.
it on the screen.
Oh, yeah. I've got it in the envelope right now. Off I go.
Put a coin in there. It'll go on the.
Put
Yeah,
a
off
coin.
you go. Yeah. Like next birthday.
No,
be
I'll have to
like,
put. I won't be able to put that in the. I'll have to put it in a bubble wrap or something, won't I? Because it's not going to go through a thing with an envelope, is it? I'll have to ask. I'm gonna ask my postal service what they think. There's a very nice lady who works there who takes pity on me every time I panic.
Well, just I don't know, but just make sure the coin doesn't mess up the other.
Oh, that's true. Yes, you don't want to go through a machine and like stamping a giant like tech bandit on Momoa's face.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
it's a surprise, of course, so it could be anything.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna treasure whatever it is.
Enjoy your night.
Yeah, you as well.
All right. I guess I'll wrap up on everything. I suppose then I'll say goodnight to you too, Anthony. And Wolf Pup's gone, but they've all left. We bored them all to death. That's what we do. All right, Anthony. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Good night, everybody. I shall wrap up here, and then I'll wrap up with the stream. I say that, and then I'll probably talk for another 20 minutes, as I usually do. All right. I'm hanging up. All right. See you, Alan.
See ya.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks.
See you, Anthony. All right, but I haven't stopped streaming. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone properly here. Okay, enjoy my pizzas. It's pizza time. I'm thinking they're called. Oh, I should turn off this. Shouldn't I? How do I do that? How do I get rid of that? Which is this? What if I just move it down? Oh, hello, coming soon. Look at that. I got the wrong one. Live. Okay, I don't want all these. What are all these things here? How do I get rid of this? Window capture. Was that get rid of one? Okay, that's one. Browser source. That's gone. Chrome. I don't need that. That's not alert box. No. Game capture. Does that do it? No, that's not it. No, that's it. There you go. No. I'm trying to turn all these off. How do I turn them off? Logitech, Razer, Discord. Oh, there you go. Okay. Now I'll move me back in here. Hang on. I'll make this live in a second. Don't worry about it. I'm almost there. There we go. Transition back to there. Hey, where's my game? Uh-oh. Did I turn off the game capture? I did. There you go. All right. So I'm back. Thanks for streaming more often now. Oh, Anima Confusa. I had wanted to speak to. I had been meaning to speak to Alan for ages, and I did want to say hi to everyone because it's been a while. So and I should say this like now. Thank you so much to the Patreons, the subscribers, the mods. My God, Cal, you're the best. If you're still awake, and I should probably say a few thank yous here, Tish and I. Ooh, that's a cool name. Tactiski Sane has followed. Thank you very much. Vsanch24FP's followed. Thank you very much. And of course, Krillin hosted me as well. That was very nice of you. It was a couple hours ago. All right. Thank you all. Yes, Captain Catherine. It was fun. Thank you very much. Knitter Nicole says, I've enjoyed the stream so much. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad. Very good. Thank you. Thanks for the stream. Cal is always awake and always lovely. And how are you feeling, Cal? You better? How are the bones? How are all the bones and such? I am wrapping up. Goodbye, Medusa Candy. Medusa Candy, who's just done an incredible job on the nano writing thing or whatever it is that she's just done. She's just sent me a tome to read. And you are really the most interesting. Aw, thank you. Cyber Brewmaster. That's very nice of you. Thank you very much. It's healing damaged nerves, but it's fine. Ooh, damaged nerves. That doesn't sound good. We need to get you a cyborg suit, Cal. You and Gimpy G. I've not heard from Gimpy G today. I'm guessing the satellite wasn't over his head for internet today, which is too bad. All right, everyone. Be safe, be kind, be brilliant. Until we geek again, I will say cheerio and huzzah! Oh, that's right. The show that inspired the name Huzzah, The Great. I've just started watching season 2, and it's great, by the way. All right, bye. I'm going. See ya. Cheers. Bye.